of legislation into law and includes a measure meant to keep state students safe from another tragedy like the one in Winder.
7 months after a gunman opened fire inside Appalachia High School, killing 4 people, Governor Kemp will sign the measure, which includes putting panic buttons in classrooms, requires records be shared quickly when a student changes districts, and provides for a statewide alert system for school threats. Back in February, Richard Aspinwall, whose son Ricky was among those killed at Appalachia, telling reporters,
"We've got to protect our children, no matter what."
The new measure goes into effect immediately, but districts have until next year to comply with certain elements. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
And that legislation would also give first responders digital maps of schools to help in their efforts. Meanwhile, the governor will also sign a bill today to ban transgender athletes from girls' sports from kindergarten through college. It requires student athletes to only play on sports teams that matches their sex at birth. It also requires separate changing rooms for male and female athletes. The Riley Gaines Act would take effect on July 1st. It is 65 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says see sunny skies today with the high getting up around 80 degrees this afternoon. We get a slight chance of rain tomorrow. Temperature, though, possibly creeping into the low to mid 80s. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Well, following the investigation this morning at Atlantic Station after a rideshare driver is charged with shooting a passenger.
The incident occurring on 18th Street near the Dillard's department store at Atlantic Station in Midtown. Investigators believe there may have been an argument involving the fare for a ride. It ended with the passenger being shot by the driver. That individual is hospitalized at Grady in stable condition. The driver has been detained, though police have not indicated what charges will be filed. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Well, we now have a date for when the work will begin to find the next pope at the Vatican.
The Vatican announced that the closed-door process known as a conclave will begin on May 7th. Members of the College of Cardinals under the age of 80 are allowed to vote, and the winner must be selected by a two-thirds majority.
Michael Castor reports voting will continue until white smoke can be seen coming from the chapel chimney. Conclave can last as long as it takes, although the last 2 conclaves only took about 2 days apiece. Canadian voters are now heading to the polls this morning to decide if the country's Liberal Party will remain in power or if the Conservatives will take over. Strained relations with the United States could play a key role in this election.
Before Justin Trudeau quit in January, the Liberal Party's popularity reached historic lows. Then came Trump's tariffs on Canada and threats to make it the 51st state. And since then, the Liberals have doubled their support.
Correspondent Chris Mavridis says the party now leads in all polls, with the former head of the Bank of Canada leading the charge. And major tech companies, including Microsoft, Apple, Meta, and Amazon, released their quarterly results this week as Wall Street continues its roller coaster ride over fear of a trade war.
The last time big tech delivered earnings, Donald Trump had just started his term. Stocks were soaring on expectations of a pro-growth agenda, and the main concern among investors was how long it would take companies to convert their AI spending into profits.
We'll check the stocks in about 30 minutes when the bell rings on Wall Street. Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti says the threat of heavy tariffs has wiped out about $5.5 trillion so far from the S&P 500. It's 9:03. Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start with Triple Team Traffic and Smile Mark McKay.
All right, Judd, we begin on the east side perimeter where police have now knocked out 2 left lanes dealing with this crash. Looks like they'll hold all lanes to get it off to the right, leaving Clarkston on the inner loop 285 southbound. Right at Memorial Drive, exit 41, delays back toward Highway 78. Northbound side traffic, Drew was telling us trouble on the left shoulder as you head north 285 at Lawrenceville Highway. The 285 delays across the north side perimeter, easing between I-85 and Dunwoody. Still a bit tight, leaving I-75 on the inner loop to New North Side Powers Ferry. I-75 northbound has improved to northwest Atlanta. Vehicle fire cleanup now on the shoulder, all lanes open. 75 north of Howell Mill Road, exit 252. Keeping close watch on I-85 out of the northeast, Chinway Maponya Cook.
Well, things are looking better, but we're still slowing and going. I-85 southbound, you're going to be tapping the brakes from 316, breaking free around Jimmy Carter Boulevard, that's exit 99. And once you get inside the perimeter, got some trouble here, 85 southbound around Claremont Road. It looks like it's just some volume that's slowing right there. And then 85 northbound, still working this crash cleanup right past I-75. Got this stalled vehicle in the left lane. Hero units, tow trucks on the scene, getting this thing out of the way. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy today, highs in the upper 70s to low 80s, lows tonight in the mid 60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with an isolated rain shower possible, high 82. Wednesday, partly cloudy with an isolated rain shower, morning low 63, afternoon high 84.
64 degrees right now in Norcross, 65 in Cartersville, 65 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Jed Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome, friends. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Mark Aram and crew. No room to breathe on the show today. We have so much information to pass along to you. Just a couple of minutes, we're going to go live to the White House, get the latest on the Russia and Chinese negotiations. 30 minutes from now, Katie Prejean-McGrady is going to recap the papal funeral. I don't know if you heard it live here or watched it on TV, but Saturday morning at 4 a.m., she's going to tell us what happened at the funeral and preview the upcoming conclave. We've got a date now. Conclave is going to start on May 7th. And I did watch Conclave this weekend, Deborah, the movie.
You did?
Yes, I did. So I'll give you my full review a little bit later in the show. Amazingly, Deborah's booked two huge local guests for us. We're going to talk to the head of the Piedmont Park Conservancy, and we're going to talk to the CEO of the Atlanta Track Club as we, of course, get the AJC 10K Peachtree Road Race coming up this summer. Eric Erickson's going to join us live. So much to do. Oh, and yeah, it's the 5K a day bonus splits. 10-18, I'm going to give you a keyword. Another chance for you to win $1,000 in the 5K a day bonus splits. I want to start, though, with, you might think it's a sports story, but to me, it's a parenting story. The case of Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son. He was the story of the NFL draft, one of the highest rated quarterbacks, and he just kept falling and falling and falling in the draft, unlike anything we've really seen in modern times. Eventually got drafted, I think, in the 5th round by the Cleveland Browns. But he was, supposedly going to go in the 1st round. And I'm not going to get into the who, what, why, where, and the reason why he fell. But the story that I want to talk to as a local connection, it's a prank call that was made by the son of one of the Atlanta Falcons coaches staff. So basically, if you're not familiar with the draft, usually the teams will call the player right before they're about to draft him and say, hey, Longoria, offensive tackle from Texas Tech, this is Frank from the New York Jets. We're going to draft you. Gives him a heads up, and it's like a nice warm moment. So somehow the son of one of the Falcons coaches got Shedeur Sanders' private number and prank called him, telling him that the New Orleans Saints, he was representing the New Orleans Saints, that they were about to draft him next. Here's the prank phone call.
Say it one more time for me.
This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man.
No, for sure.
We're going to take you with our next pick right here, man.
Yeah, yes, sir. Let's be legendary.
Yeah, but you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, man.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
What does that mean?
What? What are you saying?
I don't know.
How you gonna ask us what it means and you was on the phone?
You heard that?
You said you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
I don't know what that was. It's 50-50. But nobody got this number, though.
So the Sanders family got a special burner phone for the draft that only the GMs of NFL teams have, so that line was always clear. And if the Saints or the Falcons or the Giants or the Texans, whomever was going to call Sanders to let him know they were going to draft him, they would have that number. Only those people had that number. So there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, as a former prank call expert in my misguided youth, that was just a bad prank call. That was horrible. And it was cruel. Prank calls should be funny, not cruel. That was not funny. It was cruel, and it was awful. And it stretches the bounds of legality. So the Atlanta Falcons, I don't know how it came to light that that's the person that made the prank call, but the Atlanta Falcons released a statement saying, this is how it reads. Earlier in the week, Jax Ulbrich, the 21-year-old son of defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich, unintentionally came across the draft contact phone number for Shedeur Sanders off an open iPad while visiting his parents' home and wrote the number down to later conduct a prank call. Jeff Ulbrich was unaware of the data exposure. Any facets of the prank, was made aware of the above only after the fact. The Atlanta Falcons do not condone this behavior and send our sincere apologies to Shedeur Sanders and his family, who have been in contact with, to apologize to, as well as facilitate an apology directly from Jax to the Sanders family. We've also been in contact with the NFL and will continue to cooperate fully with any inquiries we may receive from the NFL League office. We are thoroughly reviewing all protocols and updating if necessary to help prevent an incident like this from happening again. That's from the Falcons. They have since said that the coach, defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich, will not be facing any disciplinary proceedings within the Falcons organization. First of all, his son is 21 years old. I was making crank calls when I was 12. I was a child. 21, you are a grown-ass man. And do you understand, Jax, the jeopardy you put your dad's career in? By basically stealing that unlisted number and making, let's be honest, it was a bad prank call. It wasn't funny at all. It was cruel. I want to know the conversation going on behind closed doors between father and son there. What, at 21, what do you can't ground him. You cut him off, be like, we're not giving you any money anymore. You're persona non grata to us. That's an awful story. Just an awful. What are you doing? You're 21 years old. If it was a 12-year-old, I'd be like, all right, whatever. But you're 21. You jeopardize your dad's career with that. That's just stupid and cruel and not funny. Prank calls shouldn't be cruel. They should be lighthearted and funny and made by preteens, not a 21-year-old man. It's a bad look for the Falcons. They did the right thing, got on front, and I don't think that his dad should be punished. He shouldn't have left the iPad open, but who would have thought that in his own home that number, that secure number, would have been, available to be leaked? I feel so bad for the dad. How embarrassed is he that his son was the one that made that prank call? Because we heard the prank call, we saw the audio release, but we didn't know who made it. I don't know how they found out it was. I guess he just called from his own cell phone number. They just called back. Yeah, who's this? Oh, this is Jax Ulbrich. I'm the son of defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich. Oh, you crank call Shedeur Sanders. You SOB. Anyway, he got drafted, but that's just an awful. It's not a sports story. What do you do as the dad of your grown son does that to you? Just an awful, awful story. Anyway, I wanted to get off my chest. Very successful draft, I believe, for the Falcons, the Giants, and Longoria's Texans, by the way. We're waiting for correspondent John Decker to check in live from the White House. We're going to go back to the White House eventually with Karen Travers from ABC. Going to update that, talking about the Russia, Ukraine, and China talks. But there was an interesting moment, Deborah. I'm assuming, Deborah, you were up to watch the funeral?
Oh, yeah. I'm up at the time anyway, so
you are,
there was
exactly.
nothing different for me.
That's what I was talking to Maya about it. She's like, is Deborah going to get up? I'm like, she's up that time early anyway. Yeah. Did you see the sit down? And I tweeted the picture of it and put it on my social medias of right before the funeral, the sit down that President Trump and Zelensky had. Was that part of the funeral coverage, or did you see it
there
afterward?
There were clips back. Yeah, there were some clips and cutaways to that. Yeah.
It was remarkable, just the picture of them. They're just sitting on regular chairs, face to face. Stark contrast to what we saw at the White House a couple of months ago. Remember that huge blow up at the White House? So we'll try to find out what exactly they said to each other. I'm trying to find. There was some audio from President Zelensky after talking about a productive conversation that the two had. It was very interesting. Let us go, while we're waiting for John Decker, let's go to White House correspondent Karen Travers. who is covering the negotiations right now, and the story with Scott Bessent, who we heard from over the weekend. Karen, good morning. Thanks for your time. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent defended President Trump's negotiating strategy on the trade deals in comments he made to This Week co-anchor Martha Raddatz. What did the Treasury Secretary say?
You know, he was trying to strike an optimistic tone about negotiations and timelines with China. He said that it would be maybe months to work out a deal with China. But, you know, you and I talked about this last week. They're not talking to them right now. There are no negotiations. There's no significant exchanges with China. So that would be pretty remarkable to get something like that done so quickly. Bessent had told investors last week behind closed doors that it's going to be a slog to do a trade deal with China, but certainly trying to put a little bit more of a positive spin in an interview yesterday. He defended the president's negotiating strategy on trade. He did say, though, he didn't know if the president was talking directly to China's President Xi. I think that was a pretty remarkable statement. I mean, I think if he was talking directly to him, the Treasury Secretary would be involved in that, given how fraught these tensions in this trade standoff is at this point with China.
Now, we've been getting mixed messages from both sides. President Trump had said last week, as you mentioned, that there are ongoing negotiations. China says, no, there's not. If there is any discussion going on, I would imagine it's at really low levels between the two nations.
Yeah, if anything, that's what it would be. But it certainly seems notable that the Chinese won't even acknowledge that. And they've been pushing back very strongly and on the record with official government statements saying, you know, that no, the administration is not saying the truth here and that there aren't negotiations. Last week, on Friday, it was the Chinese had said that the administration should stop confusing the American public. Now, also, Bessent talked about the president in an interview last week saying that there were 200 trade deals that had been agreed to. He had told that to Time magazine. First of all, there's only 195 countries in the world. And so Bessent was pushed on that. And he said he believed the president was referring to sub-deals within the negotiations we're doing. So certainly things are not as far along as the president had put out publicly last week.
Do we think, Karen, that there might be a pause on these massive reciprocal tariffs between the United States and China, at least to give some possible negotiating breathing room between the two nations?
The president has said no, that he is, well, I should say, he has said multiple things. He said first, they would come down, but not to zero. He has said he will not roll them back without some significant concessions from China. And the White House has also said, we're not going to just do this unilaterally and just drop it on our side. It has to be part of a bigger deal and an agreement with China.
We'll see how the markets reacted this morning. Karen Travers from ABC News joining us on the Mark Arum Show. Busy weekend for you, the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Yes.
You're on the board. How did the dinner go?
It was a success. We heard lots of good feedback, we think. It was a different dinner this year. You know, of course, the president declined our invitation to come to the dinner. It's extended to presidents every single year. We did not have a comedian for entertainment this year, so that was different than years past. But it was very an earnest dinner that focused on the award winners. We give out several awards for journalism by our colleagues throughout the year. We awarded thousands and thousands of dollars in scholarships to college students, some of whom go on then to become White House reporters, which is pretty remarkable to see. I've been around here long enough now that I'm starting to see a lot of them come back into our press corps ranks, which is really amazing to see what this does to give them their foot in the door, connecting them with mentors, connecting them with people who give them jobs at some point. So it was a very great event, defending the First Amendment and promoting the work that's done here in D.C.
Sure, interesting time, obviously, for the White House press corps. Now, being on the board, do you determine the menu and what was served for dinner?
Not this year, but I got to go to the tasting dinner last year. So if people liked the 2024 serving, then I can take credit for that, but not this year's.
What was served this year?
It was steak. There was some fish, potato and vegetable thing, and then like a little nice plate of dessert. But it was funny because I'm at the head table and they put like all the desserts right in front of me, and I was like, I'm on camera the entire time. Like, this looks a little aggressive here with like 17 little cakes in front of me, but it was great.
I'm sure it was fantastic. Karen, as always, thanks for your time.
Have a great day. Thanks.
All right, we'll continue to monitor what is going on with the markets in relation to what Secretary of Treasury Bessent had to say. One day, Deborah, you and I are going to go up to the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Okay.
I like that. There's a steak, there's a fish, there's a buffet of desserts. It sounds fantastic. All right, when we come back, I did get an update on that sit-down, that brief sit-down that President Trump had with President Zelensky. I'll update that. And our neighbors to the north going to the polls today. Yeah, it's Election Day in Canada. We'll update that. But first, updating trouble on 285 in DeKalb County. Live with the latest, Mike Shields.
And Mark, travel advisory right now on the east side perimeter, 285 southbound, or 285 northbound, the outer loop. Right at Memorial Drive, crash has been working in the left lane. We've had issues southbound as well in 2 left lanes. That's jamming up the right as you leave Highway 78. And roadwork set up 400 southbound right at I-85. That's in the left lane. Already slow as you leave Lennox Road. This report is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
Are you telling me I'm a winner?
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
Oh my God, you made my day.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 10.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
Can you remember the last time you turned on the shower and all you got was cold water? Hopefully you don't have a fresh memory of that. Hey, it's Mark Aram. I want you to check out my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Great new deal on a new water heater. Check it out, guys. Only $29.99 a month and no payments for 3 whole months. No credit check and an unbeatable lifetime warranty. Or you want to go tankless? It's only $59.99 a month and you can enjoy endless hot water. Think about those long, hot showers in the cold, cold winter. Their new water heater installations come with their 100% satisfaction guarantee, same-day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. And with their comfort as a service program, you get lifetime repair and maintenance, no additional charges ever, no money down, and just easy monthly payments. So new water heater, $29.99 a month, or tankless, $59.99 a month. Amazing deal. Amazing hot water, amazing service. Go online to reliableair.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head-scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes, sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
If you've been in a motorcycle accident, move swiftly to protect your rights. It's Eric Von Hessler, and I recommend Steel Horse Law, motorcycle injury lawyers who ride. They're 100% local, the only firm that's a major part of the North Georgia motorcycle community. At your next local bike night, ride, or charity event, stop by their booth and say hello. Steel Horse Law can help you get back on your feet, medical bills paid, back to work, and your case resolved. Request a free Rider's Advantage card at steelhorselaw.com.
9:25 on this fast-moving Monday, updating what happened yesterday or Saturday morning with that meeting between President Trump and President Zelensky. This is Natalie Brand from CBS.
Volodymyr Zelensky, for his part, posted about this meeting on social media, calling it symbolic. He also said he's hoping for results on everything we covered, including protecting lives for Ukraine's people, full and unconditional ceasefire, reliable and lasting peace that will prevent another war from breaking out.
Now, one of the things that has been developing over the last 3 or 4 days is President Trump souring now on Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia. Been very critical of Putin and what they've been doing. And the fact that he had a face-to-face sit-down with President Zelensky of Ukraine was quite telling. I teased this before. Our neighbors to the north going to the polls today to decide whether to keep the Liberal Party in power or if it will be the Conservatives' turn. CBS News correspondent Chris Marvidis is in Toronto. He says strained relations with the U.S. since President Trump's return to the White House could have a huge say in who wins.
Before Justin Trudeau quit in January, the Liberal Party's popularity reached historic lows. Then came Trump's tariffs on Canada and threats to make it the 51st state. And since then, the Liberals have doubled their support, now leading all polls with former Bank of Canada Chair Mark Carney as party leader. If Carney wins, he'll achieve the rare feat of securing a fourth consecutive government for his Liberal Party, something that would have seemed impossible at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, crazy because the Conservative candidates were favored heavily before the talk of making Canada a 51st state. President Trump has posted on Truth Social about the Canadian election. I'll share that with you when we come back. After news, weather, and traffic, we're going to give you a recap of the papal funeral and a look ahead to Conclave. Papal expert and author Katie McGrady joins us live. That's next on The Mark Arum Show.
We are here with CFP Matthew Decker of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL. And Matt, you've said that income is the outcome that matters the most in retirement. But what income streams require the most attention?
Yeah, so if you've got a pension or if you're living off of Social Security, you kind of know those income streams show up in your mailbox. That's mailbox money. It's almost like you're still working, and it doesn't really require that much attention. But most people that come into the office today, they are having to use their 401ks, their IRAs, SEP Simples, 403Bs that are invested in the market to generate income. And anytime you're going to use a market-linked asset where you have to go in and decide when you're going to buy and sell to generate your income, it takes a ton more effort, energy, and attention to get that piece of the puzzle right. But it doesn't actually have to be that way.
So, Matt, the number one fear of adults in retirement is outliving their money. How do we get started building income today?
Well, you can get started today. You'd call us for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement roadmap. We want to build a GPS for you that's going to help navigate retirement, and it's going to have a focus on building and preserving income. 770-280-1488. We've got a representative standing by to talk to you right now. 770-280-1488. Our home office is in downtown Woodstock, but we are available across the metro Atlanta area to meet with you at a time and place that fits your schedule. Again, 770-280-1488 or online at retireatlradio.com.
The team at Vincent Financial Group want to help preserve your assets while building retirement income that lasts as long as you do. Call today for your complimentary retirement roadmap, 770-280-1488. 1488. And you can always get more at retireatlradio.com and join us for Retire ATL Sundays at 6 p.m. right here on WSB.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. News this half hour brought to you by Dr. Roof. Our top story, watching the investigations into a couple of overnight incidents around Atlanta. That includes a shooting at Atlantic Station involving a rideshare driver.
The incident appearing to be the result of an argument between a rideshare driver and a passenger regarding the fare for a ride. The driver shot the passenger but did remain on scene. The victim transported to Grady Hospital in stable condition. The driver now under arrest.
WSB's Graham Carroll says police are still trying to figure out exactly what led to the shooting and what charges that driver may face. Meanwhile, we're gathering more information following a SWAT standoff in Stone Mountain. A large police presence was reported overnight in a neighborhood near North Harrison Road and East Ponce. There are reports of injuries there. At least one person was seen in handcuffs walking with officers to a patrol car. DeKalb County Police working that one. We'll give you an update when we get one. It is 66 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says look for partly cloudy skies today, high topping out around 80 degrees. Could get even warmer tomorrow. Just a slight chance of rain there. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Some possible movement today in the war in Ukraine following the private meeting between President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky at Pope Francis's funeral over the weekend. Russia's Vladimir Putin now announcing a short-term ceasefire that would begin in May. That follows last week's airstrikes in Ukraine.
President Trump was very angry about that. He talked about it with reporters as well. And now we see Putin coming out and declaring at least a 3-day ceasefire, meant perhaps to send a message that he is serious about negotiations.
Correspondent Nancy Cordes says Ukraine has been reluctant about peace deals so far that included being barred from NATO in the future or having to give up land that has already been taken by Russia. A global race to recruit U.S. scientists is heating up.
President Donald Trump's sweeping cuts to research funding in federal agencies has triggered an exodus from U.S. research institutions. Canada, France, Germany, and Australia are among nations offering incentives as a way to entice U.S. scientists facing rising uncertainty at home. In a poll that Nature conducted last month, 75% of respondents said they were considering leaving the U.S. Europe and Canada were among the top relocation choices. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
And it'll be a special ribbon-cutting ceremony today at a historic home on Atlanta's southwest side. It's being restored in order for some members of Spelman College to one day live there.
After nearly 2 years of revitalization efforts, former Atlanta Mayor Maynard Jackson's childhood home is being restored to a high-end, affordable 2-story apartment building.
It's beautiful inside the way it's been restored with the wood floors and, the windows, and actually the original staircase has been reused.
John Allman, president and CEO of the West Side Future Fund, says the units will be leased by faculty and staff from Spelman College. Daphne Young, 95.5 WSB.
It is 9:33 as we check your money after so many peaks and valleys last week on Wall Street. We start this Monday with a peak way up right now. The Dow up more than 200 points as the bell rings this morning. S&P is up about 15 points. NASDAQ is up slightly as well. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. Starting the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
And Judd, watching a travel advisory with road work between Buckhead and Northeast Atlanta, 400 southbound right at I-85. The left lane blocked. All right, jam back to Lenox Road. Use Lenox Road or Piedmont as an alternate down to the Beaver Spring connector. Crash just cleared on the east side perimeter. 285 southbound, the inner loop right at Memorial Drive, exit 41. All lanes back open. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy today with a high near 80. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds. An isolated pop-up shower can't be ruled out. High 82. Wednesday, partly cloudy. High 84.
It is currently 65 degrees in Palmetto, 64 in Cumming, 67 degrees now in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
Why do you always go after the game show host of The Price is Right?
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
Don't tell me how to handle my life.
Eric Von Hessler.
Or anyone else.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
The Pope laid to rest over the weekend. What comes next? Papal expert and author Katie Prejean McGrady joins us live in 2 minutes on The Mark Arum Show.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save big on Heritage Farm bone-in split chicken breast. On sale now for only $1.79 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Baseball season's back, and no one's more excited than yours truly, Mark Arum. Yeah, the hometown team, don't worry. They're going to turn around. They're going to be fine at the end of the day. But in the meantime, in between time, I am enjoying watching all of my baseball at home thanks to Xfinity. MLB Network got it on 24/7. It is amazing. And with the Xfinity Sports app, you can get scores, highlights, updates, stats, anything you need, which makes your baseball viewing pleasure that much greater. If you are a baseball fanatic like I am, add Xfinity to your baseball watching experience. It makes it so much more enjoyable. And, of course, always root for the home team. Xfinity is amazing when it comes to in-home entertainment and internet as well. I don't have to tell you that. You know it already. But if you are unfamiliar with all the amazing amenities offered by Xfinity, I suggest you go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit your local Xfinity store near you today.
Guys, if you're having ED or performance issues and Viagra and Cialis haven't worked, you need to come see Choice Men's Health. Give us a call or visit us online at choicemenshealth.com. Get your love life back and choose Choice Men's Health.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter. Car prices are expected to rise this summer. Do you wait or buy now? At Butler Lexus South Atlanta, there's no guesswork, just peace of mind. All in-stock Lexus vehicles are price locked, guaranteed not to go up. Visit Butler Lexus of South Atlanta or call 800-NEW-LEXUS. Experience the standard of amazing.
They are starting now already with what's called general congregations, where they're discussing in general what they want in the next pope without campaigning. And then eventually, whenever the date is announced, they will go behind locked doors.
Father James Martin, as we come back here on the Mark Arum Show, obviously the Pope laid to rest this weekend. What happens next? Joining us live, author, papal expert, radio host, Katie Prejean McGrady. Katie, as always, thanks so much for coming back.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
First off, condolences, and I'm sorry you weren't able to make the papal funeral this weekend.
Oh, totally fine. I covered it for CNN, so, I watched it with everybody else, as the most of the people in the world did, but thanks.
For folks that didn't get up at 4 a.m. in Atlanta on Saturday to see the Pope's funeral, what did they miss?
It was a really beautiful service. I mean, it was a funeral, so we're all going to have one of those someday. It looked very familiar in a lot of ways, but there were some very distinct moments. There was the rustling of the gospel pages on top of his coffin. Of course, global leaders gathered together alongside cardinals and hundreds of thousands of faithful. And then maybe most iconically, the papal procession. So in one final time, Pope Francis's coffin was driven through the streets of Rome in a Pope-mobile and brought over to his final resting place at St. Mary Major. So there were some iconic moments that we won't soon forget.
And the fact that the Pope chose that as his final resting place was pretty meaningful as well.
It is. St. Mary Major was his favorite church. He's now buried in between two confessionals where Roman Catholics go to confession, and in the shadow of his favorite icon, the Salus Populi Romani, which is the care and hope of the Roman people. So he's in a place that he would have wanted to be. Sadly enough, just 2 weeks ago, the Saturday 2 weeks ago, that he was there alive, and now he's buried there. But he's in a place where he would want to be.
And I saw reporting that the folks at that church, the parishioners there, felt like he was a part of their church, right? Why did he favor that church so much?
Well, the icon was kind of the big thing because he loves that image of the Blessed Virgin Mary. The other big thing was St. Mary Major is it's a city church, I guess is the best way to describe it, whereas St. John Lateran and St. Peter's and St. Paul outside the walls, the other three major papal basilicas, St. Mary Major doesn't have a huge square in front of it, so it's kind of like up against a street. And it's in a very busy part of the city, a very working class neighborhood. So the Roman people, anytime Pope Francis was there, it was kind of like, the pastor of the city has shown up. The Bishop of Rome has shown up. And so there is this affection that he is in Rome along a busy street. And, of course, more people are visiting there than ever before. They had to keep the church open until 10:30 the past couple of nights because the lines to get in were so long.
Wow, and that's going to be something moving forward, right? Folks making a pilgrimage to see the burial place of Pope Francis.
I think so. Francis would describe himself as a son of Mary, and he's bringing people to the basilica that is dedicated to her, hugely important for us Catholics. So I think maybe that's kind of his last little evangelistic project, was bringing people to Our Lady.
And no mention on his tomb or his grave that here lies the Pope, right?
No. Other graves of pontiffs also have their name very simply printed, but it always has like the sign of the papacy. So kind of like an image that indicates like this is a pontifex. His just says Franciscus. In fact, I would say they actually probably broke his rule. He said he just wanted to say Franciscus with nothing else, and they actually added a cross on the wall above it, his pectoral cross, on the wall. Now, I don't think he's going to go yell at anybody from beyond the grave for that, but he wanted it to be incredibly simple with no real mention of the papacy. And he saw himself as a pastor. He was buried as a shepherd, not a sovereign, and his grave reflects that.
Katie Prezan McGrady joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. We heard from the Vatican today. Conclave begins May 7th. Can we take anything away from that start date for Conclave?
So they have to start it within 15 to 20 days. They're starting it day 16, which I'm going to read the tea leaves and simply say this, and I'm sure I'm going to say this on my show this afternoon on SiriusXM. They are clearly indicating they want to take time to talk to each other. Right now what's happening is the general congregations. So I call this cardinal camp. They're going into meetings every day. They're spending about 3 to 4 hours talking with each other. The Vatican gives us a readout. Here's some of the things that they said. Never who said what, but just kind of a general idea. And it's pretty evident that these cardinals, who Pope Francis has appointed 108 of the 134 who are going to vote for his successor.
Oh, wow.
They're all over the world. Now, that's good because it reflects a diversity in the leadership of the church, but it's a challenge because they're not always together. And so these congregations are their chance to meet and to talk and to even just basically learn each other's names and how does the Vatican work and who is going to have the qualities. And so camps are going to start emerging. We might hear some of this and, you got your ear to the ground with your sources in Rome. But for the most part, this is kind of like, to put it in American political terms, think of this as like the convention.
Sure.
And we've got an open primary happening at the convention, and then eventually they're going to vote, and we're going to get a pope.
At last I heard there were 4 candidates, one from Italy, one from Africa, one from the United States, and one from Asia. Has that candidate list been updated since the Pope has been laid to rest?
So there's candidates in the sense that they're actually all eligible. None of them can declare like candidacy. So like Cardinal Tagle, who's from the Philippines, who has been talked about a lot, he's not going to get up there and go, I'm running, vote for me.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. But yes, in the names surfacing, those tend to be Cardinal Tagle, Cardinal Parolin, he's the current Secretary of State, Cardinal Erdo, he's from Hungary. Of note, I've got my eye on this guy. Pope Francis visited Hungary twice in his papacy. He didn't go a lot of places multiple times, but he went to Hungary twice. He knew Erdo, and while the Pope can't pick his successor, he can signal in a lot of ways, these are my close collaborators. So yes, that list is going to be a little malleable over the next few days based on who we hear is saying what, and so much of this is going to be happening outside their official meetings. They're going to go have dinner together and coffee, and they're going to sit around and chat with each other, and that's when they're reading one another, and they're getting an idea of who each other are and who could potentially lead this 1.5 billion member church.
Last conclave, it was 2 days before Pope Francis was elected. Do we think it's going to be a 2-day affair, longer, shorter? Any indications?
So I'm predicting, I'll say it to you, I'm predicting a 6-ballot conclave, which would be a 3-day conclave. Day 1, they have 1 ballot. Day 2 is 4, so that means you're at 5 ballots. So day 3, they would take ballot number 6. I think it's going to be a 3-dayer. It was a 3-day conclave for John Paul II in 1978, 2 days for Benedict in 2005, and Francis in 2013. From everything I'm hearing and from the conversations that I've kind of been privy to with some folks over there, since we don't have a clear candidate just yet, and unless a clear candidate really emerges as, oh yeah, that's the guy, I think it's going to take him about 6 ballots, which would be 3 days.
Final question for you, Katie. I had to. Everyone was forcing me to watch the movie Conclave Friday night so I could see it and be prepped for the upcoming Conclave. Have you seen the movie, and what are your thoughts about it?
I actually watched the movie for the second time after my crazy day of covering the funeral on Saturday. Ordered some pizza in my D.C. hotel room and watched the movie. The movie's beautiful in that it gets a lot of the places correct, the Casa Santa Marta, the Sistine Chapel. Some of that political intrigue is probably happening in there, but it's not a documentary. So, yes, there's some maneuvering, and the movie is very dramatized in the way certain candidates do and don't rise to the top. It's a little more prayerful than I think the movie portrays, and certainly our Cardinals are maybe not nearly as dramatic as a Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, but the movie is fun, and if you kind of want to get in the zone, I'd tell people to go watch it.
I really enjoyed it. The acting was phenomenal. But I thought about this, Katie. I'm like, this could have been a movie about a Fortune 500 company trying to replace their CEO, right? It's the same intrigue and drama behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah. This is like Succession and Game of Thrones wrapped into the Catholic Church. And that's the whole world's paying attention because nothing else is like this. It's the most exclusive club. 134 men are going to vote for the most prized job that some of them might want, but they can't say they want it, but none of them really want, which is why it's called the Room of Tears after they get elected. So it is nothing like it in the world, and we're all going to be watching it closely.
I'm just glued to everything about this. Katie, I cannot thank you much enough for the coverage you provided on this. Tell the folks where we can hear your show.
I'm on SiriusXM every afternoon from 2 to 4 East, and I'm analyzing things on CNN over the course of the next couple weeks.
All right. Katie, as always, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
There you go. Katie Prezan-McGrady, papal expert, author. Fantastic. All right, Deborah, you and I can talk about Conclave. I finally saw it.
Okay.
I thought it was a phenomenal movie. I could see why some Catholics were, not happy with the ending, I guess, would probably be.
It was definitely not what you would think going into the movie. You know, I see, I'm like, ooh, Conclave, it's all about the popes. Okay, that's cool. And then the ending comes, and depending on what you believe in the church and your thoughts, you might not have been happy with the ending, right? Yeah. But I enjoyed the movie.
I predicted the ending early on. I don't know, I mean, if it was obvious to everyone on what was going to happen. Not the entire ending, but okay. I predicted what would happen at the end of it. But I thought the acting it was a great story, and it was fiction, right? I mean, this is
it is fiction.
It was fiction, and I think that seriously, the script could have been, a Ford Motor Company. How are they going to replace their CEO, and what goes on behind closed doors? It's like a power struggle kind of story.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciated it that it had to do a little bit with the church, and who knew that this was going to happen with the Pope so soon. But, it's an interesting way to tell the story that many of us probably will never know.
Yeah, and a hell of a cast, too. A hell of a cast. I enjoyed it, but I can understand why some Catholics might not have been in love with the movie. But it's fiction, and you have to realize it's fiction. Inglourious Bastards was fiction. I still love the movie, but it was fiction. All right, thank you, Deborah, and thanks to Katie. Coming up, how much vacation time do we need to keep our sanity? I haven't had a single vacation day yet this year. I'll just preface it with that. Let's check traffic now at 9:48. Live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Here's Mike Shields.
And Mark, watching big delays out of Buckhead into northeast Atlanta. Don't let this surprise you today, as the left lane's blocked once again in this work zone. 400 southbound right at I-85, and bumper to bumper as you leave Lenox Road exit 2. Think about using Lenox Road itself or Piedmont. You can take that south down to the Beaufort Spring Connector as a wide way around those delays. And things improving on the east side perimeter with the crash cleared 285 southbound the inner loop at Memorial Drive. This support is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
If you have the WSB radio app,
All the notifications you need.
If you have the WSB app,
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
Breaking news in Cobb County.
All in one place.
We'll send out an alert on the WSB app.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it from your app store today.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews from the Von Hessler Doctrine for my roofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it into the budget? Spring is in the air, and our houses and our landscapes are getting manicured. But how is your roof looking? You know, a new roof can dramatically improve the look of your house. And I know, there are a lot of uncertainties in the economy right now. So, FGA Roofing has put together an offer you should consider. The 000 plan. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments for 12 months. With FGA Roofing, you can get a quote in just a few days and your roof installed in just a couple of weeks. And the best part is you can wait and pay until it fits your timeline. FGA Roofing specializes in slate, tile, wood shake, cedar, and architectural roofs. Don't forget, it's the 000 plan. Hard to beat that, right? From FGA Roofing, where you'll get first-rate installation and quality service. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Is your old AC unit ready for another sweltering Atlanta summer? Probably not. Hey, good news. Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable. Great new deal going on right now, guys. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Any AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button or call or text 770-594-9969.
Listen up, because women have long waited for the world to recognize the importance of our health.
Northside Hospital goes beyond "we hear you" to "we're out here with you," because women deserve more than open ears.
They deserve open doors, and 1 ounce of action is worth 1,000 words.
Northside is rolling up our sleeves and getting to work for you.
This is a house call. Heard. Learn more at northside.com/heard.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Yes, I am dancing on the WSB live stream right now. If you are of a certain age, you hear this song and you think of one thing, Deborah Green.
Oh, of course. That is Pee-wee from Pee-wee Herman. Yes.
Yeah, the movie. He's in the bar scene, dancing to Tequila's
the
name
white
of the song, right?
shoes,
Yeah,
yes.
let me hear a little bit more, DJ Longo. Anyway, Coming back to the theme song, well, the unofficial theme song of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, because apparently Pee-wee's bike, his infamous bike from that movie, is up for auction, was sold at auction. What can you tell me, Deborah?
All right, one of the bikes used in the movie Pee-wee's Big Adventure is going to go up for auction. Of course, in movies they tend to have several of them, so it's one of 14. But this particular one is one where he actually crashes into the curb, and he's like, "I meant to do that." That famous line. This was the bike that's actually in that scene, so that's kind of how it's special from the other bikes. And it will go to auction. That auction kicks off on May 3rd and 4th, so this weekend. It doesn't have a start price though, so I don't know where it's starting.
But do they have any estimate what it's going to sell for?
Nope. It just says it's going up for auction this week. Yep.
That's $1 million item, I think, right there. That's such an iconic movie. He's no longer with us, right? Paul Rubens, didn't he
passed away last year.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Do you know why? Because Paul Rubens didn't take enough vacation time. The data is in, and we need to take vacations more often, Deborah. Again, Longoria pushed back because I took 2 days off, but it wasn't a vacation. But I've not had a vacation yet, but that's okay. I'm not complaining. But I need it for my health and my sanity, say the experts.
Yeah, if you don't use all your vacation time, like a lot of people do, you might want to reevaluate that and do it because new research is saying it's got a lot of health benefits. Just getting away and out of your normal is good, but it also it reduces your blood pressure, your blood sugar levels. It can help maintain your cholesterol levels. And they're saying to do this, you would need to take about 1 week of vacation every year for 9 consecutive years to really feel the benefits of vacation time.
Oh, that's not extra. A week a year for not. Yeah. Well, aside from you, everyone else I know takes 1 week every year for 9 consecutive years, right? I have unlimited vacation, unlimited PTO. But jealous, yes, but I don't. That's the beauty of the thing. You don't when you have unlimited, you don't for whatever. There's some psychological reason you don't want to abuse it. So what did I take last year? 3 weeks. I could have taken 8 weeks.
I think you took 4 because you were sick.
Oh, well, that's not vacation.
Remember? Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't really take a lot of time off.
I've never faked being sick, Longoria, ever, forever. All right, that's reasonable. A week a year for 9 straight years to keep your sanity. Yeah. All right, so make sure I get a week in this year, folks. We're talking about tariffs. This is where I sit up straight and pay attention. Tariffs adding pressure to already rising coffee prices. CBS correspondent Steve Kaufman has the story.
The coffee industry has been hit hard over the past 9 months, says Jeff Taylor with Bird Rock Coffee. Base level coffee pricing has been rising, and now the influence of tariffs.
All of our coffee comes from Latin America, from Africa. Now there's a 10% tariff on all those countries.
As coffee prices continue their upward movement, it's wait and see for both coffee roasters and consumers.
National Coffee Association and the SCA are working to take tariffs off of coffee. It's nothing more than a tax, not doing anything to help the U.S. economy. It's just hurting consumers.
Stephen Kaufman, CBS News.
Now, I drink coffee, as everyone at the station knows. I'm holding up my iconic coffee cup on the WSB live stream. I drink 4 cups of coffee in the morning, 4 a day, big ones. And I always get Emerald's Big Easy Bold coffee from Keurig. That's my coffee of choice. It's strong. It keeps me jazzed up. And I have it auto ship from Keurig. I'm thinking, Deborah, I should do what I did with deodorant to the Emeralds. The problem is the Emeralds there is an expiration date on it. So you can't order too much to get in front of the tariffs because eventually it does go bad. But, oh, man, that's the last thing I need is increase. You don't want to see me without a lack of coffee. Now, the listeners that you don't care, but my coworkers, my friends, my family, they don't want to see me caffeine deprived. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on that. All right, news, weather, and traffic straight ahead. Sabrina's going to check the markets. When we come back, big changes are coming to legendary Piedmont Park. We'll be joined live by the head of the Piedmont Park Conservancy, Doug Widener. He joins us live next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Storm season is bearing down on us, and that means power outage season is here too. Dave Baker here for Brightbox Electrical. Being stuck in a dark, hot home as storms start to fire up is no fun. That's why my friends at Brightbox Electrical, a Cool-Ray company, are now offering $500 off a Generac home standby generator, and if you purchase now, you'll receive a 2-year maintenance and monitoring plan for free. So don't be left in the dark or the heat. Visit brightboxelectrical.com to schedule your appointment.
An investment in your home is something that will pay off in the future, but it's something that you can enjoy right now. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. A beautiful new garage door, entry doors, and windows are an investment you can love every day, and they will increase your home's value, energy efficiency, and curb appeal. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and high-quality work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.com.
You do not want to miss this. Call Zero Res Carpet Cleaning to get 3 rooms of carpet plus a free hallway for only $109 when you tell them Chris Chandler sent you. That's right, 3 rooms plus a free hallway for only $109. Only have a few days to take advantage of this sweet deal. Zero Res can bring your carpets back to life with their exclusive cleaning technology. By using ZR Water, Zero Res is tough on your carpet stains without using soap or harsh chemicals. The best part is your carpets will stay cleaner longer, so you and your family can continue walking on soft and fluffy carpets day after day. Don't just take my word for it. Zero Res has over 20,000 reviews and a 4.9 rating on Google. They don't run the sale often, so don't wait. Dial 770-242-1313 today to get 3 rooms of carpet cleaning and a free hallway for only $109 before it's too late. Use code SALE109 at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards, it's the right way to clean.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This just in, we have an update on a story from Atlanta's Morning News. We now know the identity of a rideshare driver accused of shooting a passenger in Midtown.
The incident occurring on 18th Street near the Dillard's department store at Atlantic Station in Midtown. Investigators believe there may have been an argument involving the fare for a ride. It ended with the passenger being shot by the driver. The 26-year-old male victim taken to Grady Hospital in stable condition. The driver has been identified as Robert Wallace. He has been detained and police say charges are pending. Graham Creel, 95.5 WSB.
All right, thank you, Graham. Your weather for today, partly cloudy, mild with a high near 80 this afternoon. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast with WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards coming up in just over 2 minutes. Governor Kemp is set to sign sweeping school safety legislation into law at the state capitol later today.
The legislation requires panic buttons to be installed in every classroom, that records are shared within 5 days after a student changes districts, and it creates a statewide alert system for tracking threats. This comes 7 months after a gunman opened fire inside Appalachia High School, killing 4 people, including Coach Ricky Aspinwall, whose father Richard told reporters back in February.
If you go to a school, everybody deserves the right to be safe. It's a given. If we can't provide that, then we're all failing.
The measure takes effect immediately. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Residents of Douglas County encouraged to register for a new emergency notification system there. It'll activate this week. Alert Douglas is an enhanced notification system providing real-time alerts and critical updates on potential dangers, including severe weather and public safety issues. You can register by downloading the Smart 911 app. You can opt for home. You can opt for phone, text, or email notifications. The work of selecting a new pope in secret is set to begin just over a week from now. The Vatican announcing today that the closed-door process known as conclave will begin on May 7th, and members of the College of Cardinals under the age of 80 are allowed to vote, and the winner must be selected by a 2/3 majority. Voting will continue until white smoke is seen coming from the chapel chimney, signifying that there is a new pope. A deadly hit-and-run boat accident in Clearwater, Florida last night. The U.S. Coast Guard saying a boat hit a ferry and then took off. 1 person was killed. At least 6 others were sent to the hospital. Correspondent Manuel Bojorquez is following the story from Florida.
A boat near the city's Memorial Causeway Bridge crashed into the Clearwater ferry and then took off.
Think of it like a hit and run, but on the water.
The Coast Guard says it has identified that boat. The collision sent the ferry carrying 45 people into a sandbar where it remained stuck. Its roof left in tatters. Wreckage inside showed a scene in complete disarray.
The Coast Guard and Florida Fish and Wildlife officials will handle the investigation into that crash. Looking at buying a home? Well, you may have more to choose from come this spring. Wayne Cabot has details.
Mortgage rates are more than double what they were in 2021, and yet realtors say more sellers are listing, giving buyers more options. The National Association of Realtors says the number of homes for sale increased almost 20% last month from a year ago, And here's a change. 44% of home purchases now involve some concession from the seller, according to Redfin.
Yeah, and Redfin says home sellers here in Metro Atlanta are increasingly willing to make concessions to a buyer in order to get the sale done. Things like closing cost, helping with home repairs, and interest rate buydowns. Let's take a look at the markets this morning. The Dow right now is up 95 at 40,208. NASDAQ is down slightly, and so is the S&P. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Good morning. Just picked up on some new trouble in DeKalb. We got a crash knocking out 3 left lanes on the outer loop. This is I-285 northbound right at I-20. Got some major delays here at exit 46. If you can avoid all of that and hop on I-20, that would be your best bet, because right now there's no delays on the East Expressway going 20 east or west, making your way inside and outside of the perimeter. From the Cool Ray Carrier Traffic Center, I'm Chinwe Maponya-Cook, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy today, highs in the upper 70s to low 80s, lows tonight in the mid 60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with an isolated rain shower possible, high 82. Wednesday, partly cloudy with an isolated rain shower, morning low 63, afternoon high 84.
We have 64 degrees right now in Duluth. It's 68 in Riverdale. Brazelton has 65 degrees. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Monday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The whole family with us today. Deborah Green, the executive producer of the show. Longoria, back where he belongs on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Drip screens them calls. Coming up in just over 10 minutes, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K a day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000. 10:35, Eric Erickson joins us live to talk politics. And 11:05, we're going to talk to Rick Kenna, the CEO of the Atlanta Track Club, previewing the Peachtree Road Race set for this summer, which, unless there's been big changes, usually ends in our beloved Piedmont Park. Joining us on the Mark Arum Show, very excited, the CEO of Piedmont Park, the Piedmont Park Conservancy, I should say. It's Doug Widener. Doug, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning, Mark. Glad to be here today.
Just so I didn't stick my foot in my mouth, the Peachtree Road Race still going to end in Piedmont Park in July?
It certainly will. Okay. We're so glad to have it back again.
Such a great,
wonderful addition to the park.
Yeah, such a great partnership between you and the Peachtree Road Race. That being said, Doug, some big changes planned over the next 10 years with our beloved Piedmont Park. Can you give us a hint on what kind of changes are coming?
Yeah, so just some context. So the last comprehensive plan for Piedmont Park was developed 25 years ago. And, with the growth of our great city and the planned expansion of the park to the corner of Monroe and Piedmont, we knew we needed to make some new plans. And we also realized that we needed to really look at the whole park with fresh eyes. And so about 11 months ago, we got started with public input and have been working with thousands of Atlantans on getting their input for the plans for the future of our park. And what I would say is we've heard so many great things. And I think the first thing we heard is that everyone loves Piedmont Park, and we all want it to be this great gem for our city for now and for generations to come. And so at the basic level, what we heard from the public is take our great park and make it greater. So care for it better every day. And so in the months and weeks and years ahead, people will see our commitment and the city's commitment to really ensuring that this gem of public green space remains. So even with 6+ million visitors visiting every year. So that's sort of the baseline, taking better care of all the natural areas and the manicured areas, sidewalks, drinking fountains, restrooms. But from there, Mark, what we heard is, people love the park. They love the park's natural areas. So we've got plans to do a comprehensive restoration of Lake Claramere. And we're excited about that. And then really continuing that all along Clear Creek. So we want to restore all of the Clear Creek network. And one of our big plans then is to build a series of nature trails, canopy walks, and boardwalks through the Clear Creek corridor from the southern part of the park through Clear Creek, then opening up into and expand and re-envision Piedmont Commons. We really heard a lot of folks saying they wanted to see more of the natural areas and more of Clear Creek. But also, Mark, this is a great way for us to just add new connective tissue through the park. Right now, the only connector in that part of the park is the Beltline.
Yeah.
And while that's great, we all know the Beltline is very popular. And so we need to provide other access for folks through that part of the park. And we get an opportunity to do that in a magical way by exploring the Clear Creek system there. And so we're excited about that for sure.
Yeah, I tell you what, Doug, it's just remarkable that we have this gem that is Piedmont Park, this fabulous green space right in the heart of the city. A lot of big cities don't have that, and especially with a city that has grown so rapidly over the last 50, 60 years that this remains untouched, right? That no developer came in and said, "Oh, we're going to build condos here." That we have this gem in the middle of the city.
You're so right. And as our city grows, great urban oases like Piedmont Park will become even more critical as a great juxtaposition and balance from the hustle and bustle of like urban density to just to come and find that peace, that connection with yourself, with nature, with other people, in a place which is equally accessible to everyone. Parks are everyone's, and they're everyone's equally. And they're such a great cities have great parks, and our great city has many great parks. One of which for sure is our crown jewel, which is Piedmont Park.
Now, that being said, Doug, I'm going to bring this to your attention, and you might be aware of it or not, but having lived, in the city of Atlanta for most of my time here, very familiar with Piedmont Park. It's like a second home. I'm very comfortable there. But I've met folks that live in the suburbs and exurbs, and they have what I call a Piedmont Park hesitancy. Right, they know about Piedmont Park, or they want to go see a concert. But they're not quite sure. Like, where do I park? What do I need to do? There's just a lack of confidence because they've never been before. Have you run into that, folks? From outside the metro area, maybe not sure about coming to Piedmont Park.
Maybe a little bit. I feel like everyone knows and loves it, but I feel like if people feel unsure, it's very accessible. I mean, there's a parking deck right in the park that does fill up on busy weekends, but now that the Beltline runs right through the park, I mean, driving and parking and accessible parking all along the Beltline and using the Beltline, or parking in Midtown and shuttling to the park. There's a lot of different ways to get here, and we think that the Beltline is really providing another great way for folks to get here. But people shouldn't be shy about coming. There's plenty of places to park in and around the park, and it's welcoming and accessible, whether there's an event going on or just coming to enjoy this beautiful respite of green space in the midst of the density of Midtown and this part of Atlanta.
And
it's quite magical.
And that's what I've been doing as a self-proclaimed ambassador of the park. When I meet someone that is like, no, I've never been, I'm not quite, and I explain to how simple and easy it is, and it is such a magical thing. One request, Doug.
Yes.
And this is the only thing, as you're doing this revitalization, this 10-year process, and this doesn't even have to be in the park, maybe outside the park. Can we permit some hot dog vendors to populate the area around the park? To me, that's the only thing missing is I want to be able to grab a hot dog.
Noted. I hear you. I think we can make that possible. I think you and other folks would love to see it, and I would too. So let's make it happen.
Yeah, I'm always food first when it comes to everything Atlanta.
I understand that.
Doug, if folks want to find out more about the plans, about the Conservancy, website, social media, where can we find you?
Yeah, our website is piedmontpark.org, and the plan is at plan.piedmontpark.org.
All right. Doug Widener, thank you so much for your time. And keep us posted if anything new pops with the future plans for Piedmont Park.
Definitely. Have a great day.
Doug Widener, Piedmont Park Conservancy. I've met people like that. I'm sure, Longoria, you're in the suburbs.
Yep.
That people are like, oh, I want to go to Piedmont Park, but I'm not really sure where to park, how to get there, and I try to explain it to them.
I'm unsure of where to park and where to go.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've been here for 13 years.
I think it's I think that's something that, and maybe the Piedmont Park's like, that they come or they don't come. But I've met a number of people that have lived in Metro Atlanta their whole lives. They've never been to Piedmont Park. And I said, why have you? And they're like, I don't even know how to get there. What do I? So I think educating the folks that have never been, who want to go but are hesitant, might be the way to do that. All right, coming up in 5 minutes, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 here, courtesy of 95.5 WSB. You were gone last week, Longoria. We gave away a ton of cash.
Nice.
So hopefully we can do it again. All right, joining us now from CBS Radio News, we say hello and good morning to Eleanor Watson. Eleanor, thanks for your time.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
It seems like this story is a story that won't go away regarding the defense secretary and the Signal app story. The latest was the defense secretary apparently setting up Signal in his office. What can you tell us about that?
That's right. Signal just won't go away. We're over a month into talking about his use of Signal. The latest is that sources tell CBS he had a system set up in his office, which is a secure area where you're not allowed to bring in cell phones. So he had this system brought in that has an internet connection so he can reply and see messages from Signal. The sources who talked to CBS said that's concerning because they are telling us that this internet connection bypassed the normal security protocols for the Pentagon, which could make that system in his office susceptible to attacks by foreign adversaries. The Defense Department has denied that there's any use of Signal in his office, but it hasn't gone on the record explaining exactly what system he had in place.
And the concern is this isn't his home office that he has Signal on a computer. This is in the Pentagon, and the alleged workaround the secure internet system there just to get this Signal on his computer in his office.
That's correct. You frequently can't even talk to me in the Pentagon because cell phone service is so tight, and especially in the Secretary of Defense's own office, which is what we call a SCIF in Washington, a secure compartmentalized information facility, I think is the full acronym. And it's not just a SCIF because he's the Secretary of Defense handling information in the Pentagon, but as Secretary of Defense, he also is privy to knowledge from the CIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency. So it's not only a SCIF because of Pentagon rules, but also because of these other intelligence agency rules.
Eleanor, we heard from the president over the weekend talking about the defense secretary. What did he say?
So on Friday, on his way to Rome, he said that Signal is a fake news story, really, that it doesn't concern him. Then yesterday, he spoke to, or this morning, The Atlantic came out with an interview where President Trump said that he's spoken to Hegseth and that he believes Hegseth is going to get it together. That comes after not just Signal, but also what some people who have left the Pentagon have called chaos with 5 staffers, I believe, in the last week and a half leaving his inner circle.
The phrasing there, he's confident he's going to get it together, implies that he has not had it together thus far in his early tenure as Secretary of Defense. Is there any chance the president's going to cut ties with him?
At this moment, our sources are saying no, that largely the attacks against, that President Trump views the attacks against Hegseth as a media attempt to take him down. And President Trump doesn't want to bow to the media. Secretary Hegseth and President Trump have a long relationship. One of the reasons that President Trump himself advocated for him to be Secretary of Defense. So at the moment, it doesn't look like there is an active search to replace Secretary Hegseth.
And the president, used a lot of political capital just to get him confirmed by one vote in the Senate. Do all these controversies, Eleanor, just underscore that, he maybe wasn't experienced enough to become the defense secretary?
So that was the concern coming in, and as you mentioned, only confirmed by one vote. That is very rare for a Secretary of Defense. Usually secretaries of defense have bipartisan support, and that's because it is such a big job. $850 billion budget, over around 2 million employees, if you include active duty service members. And Secretary Hegseth, when he came in, decided to purge some of the military officers who have been in the building for a long time because of Secretary Hegseth's view that they were promoting diversity, equity, inclusion. That was a purge he chose to do when he came in, but lately we've been seeing a purge of his own making where he brought in advisors who similarly, like him, don't have experience at the Pentagon, and they're falling off one by one.
CBS News Pentagon reporter Eleanor Watson live on the Mark Arum Show. Eleanor, thanks for your time, as always.
Thank you.
Eric Erickson's joining us live after the news at 10:35. I'm going to ask him his take on the latest and what President Trump had to say in that Atlantic interview about the Secretary of Defense. All right, you guys ready? Let's do this. Time to give away some cold, hard cashish. It's the 5K Day Bonus Blitz, friends. And the 10 a.m. keyword is pay, P-A-Y, pay. Enter the keyword pay into the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 10:30 a.m. to enter the keyword. Win $1,000. The keyword is pay, P-A-Y. And don't forget, if you get a phone call after 10:30 from a number you don't recognize, pick it up. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. Again, the 10 a.m. keyword is pay, P-A-Y, pay. Good luck. Good luck on those roads. Which way? Chinway. Maponia Cook with the latest.
You're definitely going to need some help if you are in DeKalb County. 3 left lanes being taken out, I-285 northbound, right at I-20, causing you some major delays around exit 46. If you're not in this mess yet, you want to hop on I-20. If you're already in it, get off at Boulder Crest and hop on Moreland Avenue, and that'll get you somewhere into East Atlanta. We also just had a crash clear up in the northwest region, I-285 northbound, the inner loop around Cobb Parkway, had a right lane being taken out, but that is completely gone as well, so no delays trying to roll into the Cloverleaf. From the Cool Ray Carrier Traffic Center, I'm Chinwe Maponia Cook, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Chris Chandler. When you join us Tuesday starting at 5 a.m. for Atlanta's Morning News, we'll mark the end of the first 100 days, how the president's doing, and what may be next. We'll go in depth. After all this time, we'll cover the ribbon cutting for the Public Safety Training Center its critics call Cop City, breaking metro stories and triple team traffic to get you to work on time. And Clark Howard looks at a technological advance that he thinks has taken us in the wrong direction. Join us on WSB.
Hot water heater just not cutting it anymore? You don't get that piping hot shower you want every morning? Hey, it's Mark Arum back from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Check out this amazing deal. New water heater, only $29.99 a month, and make no payments for 3 whole months. Or you can go tankless, only $59.99 a month, and you can enjoy that lovely, endless hot water. Same day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. Get that new water heater now. Save a ton of money. Just go online to reliableair.com.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are 2 very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage door should be around to play with the grandkids and talk about the old days when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Mom and Dad seem different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Call us Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches, like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 30% off, plus kids sail free.
MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
City of Hope. A place where seemingly impossible blood cancers become treatable, curable. With more than 19,000 bone marrow transplants performed, we're the largest and most successful program in the U.S., making major breakthroughs in treating leukemia, lymphoma, and rare blood cancers, personalizing a treatment plan right down to your DNA. Now the experts striving to make the impossible a reality are closer to home. Learn more at cityofhope.org.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
If it's the big story, it's on 2. Channel 2 Action News this morning. I'm Fred Blankenship.
And I'm Lori Wilson. Big stories are always breaking. It may start in the morning, but the impact continues all day.
We're constantly working to bring you fresh information from different perspectives.
This is Developing Live. Our reporters are working to get you all the angles right now.
When it comes to the big story, this is always the place to get ready for your day.
Join us on Channel 2 Action News this morning every day, 4:30 to 7.
The Soviet government reports an accident at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in the Ukraine, resulting in damage to one of the plant's nuclear reactors.
39 years ago today, the Soviet Union made the first announcement about the nuclear disaster at Chernobyl. That was on Radio Moscow's version in English. That was 39 years ago today. Deborah, I had some friends from your home state of Wisconsin in town this weekend for the Fanatics Convention. Went to McCormick and Schmidt's right downtown next to the Omni. Seafood joint, but guess what I had for dinner?
Oh, what do you have?
A steak. And it was delicious. I had a New York strip steak. Might be the last time you can order a New York strip steak, though. Apparently, Texas is debating changing the name of the legendary New York strip steak.
Yeah, if you like that New York strip, you better order it now because Texas, if they have anything to do with it, it's not going to be called the New York strip much longer because Texas is the #1 producer of beef here in the country, and they want to rename the cut after the state where it's raised, the Texas strip. And there's actually a bill that's going to be debated this week in Austin, and a bunch of people from New York are headed down there to kind of give them heck about it.
So I can eat a Texas strip and Corpus Christi overlooking the Gulf of America.
That's right.
There you go. Vinny, do me a favor during the break. Find out why it's called the New York Strip. That actually doesn't make much sense. I mean, it's been known as the New York Strip for so long. I want to know. I want to know more about that. Hey, final chance to enter the 10 a.m. keyword for the 5K day bonus blitz. It's pay, P-I-Y, pay, P-A-Y, pay. Enter pay into the WSB Radio app or WSBRadio.com/cash. You have 3 minutes to enter. When we come back, Eric Erickson joins us live next on the Mark Arum Show.
Scott Slade here from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you're going to be able to get it into the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
At Shane Company, we've been engagement ring experts for almost 100 years. We have the largest selection of diamonds and gemstones in stock. You don't have to wait to compare them side by side. Find the one that speaks to you at shaneco.com or in store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Fellas, listen up. I want to tell you about a real solution to hair loss from my good friends at Advanced Hair. It's Mark Arum here. If you've been on the fence about checking out Advanced Hair, now's the time. Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, but first you need a free consultation. And check out this amazing deal right now. Schedule now at 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. An amazing deal. What makes Advanced Hair different? They combine science and technology to give you back your own natural growing hair. Not a pill or a lotion subscription that helps retain what you have. Instead, Advanced Hair offers the proven guaranteed solution that regrows your hair where it's currently gone. Quick, simple one-day treatment, and your hair is guaranteed to grow for life. It starts growing the next day. AdvancedHair.com or call 470-660-HAIR. Do it now, guys.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Plan today so you can potentially do the things you've always wanted in retirement. Listen Saturdays at 6 to Retire Ready with David Nicholas of Nicholas Wealth Management. Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by your Metro Atlanta AMCO dealers. Happening right now in DeKalb County. Police investigating an incident in the Inverness Woods subdivision, not too far from the intersection of North Hairston Road and East Ponce de Leon Avenue. Neighbors reported hearing multiple gunshots at a townhome on Longman Way. At least one person was brought out in handcuffs, though police have not confirmed whether any arrests have been made or not, or if anybody was injured. The medical examiner, though, is on site along with crime scene investigators. As we learn more on this story, we will bring it to you, so check back for updates. All right, your weather for today, partly cloudy and mild. We're headed for an afternoon high of 80, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast that's coming your way in just over 2 minutes. All right, we have an update on that rideshare driver who shot a man at Atlantic Station. We told you about it this morning. We have now learned the name of the driver, police identifying him as Robert Wallace. He's now in custody. Police say specific charges, though, are pending. The shooting appears to be the result of an argument between the rideshare driver and a passenger regarding the fare of a ride. The 26-year-old male victim has been transported to Grady Hospital and is in stable condition this hour. Russia will pause fighting in the war with Ukraine for 3 days next week. Russian President Vladimir Putin saying that the temporary ceasefire will take place on May 8th through the 10th as his country marks the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. The Kremlin said that Ukraine should follow suit. But Ukraine's foreign minister addressed the ceasefire in a post on X saying, quote, if Russia truly wants peace, it must cease fire immediately. Why wait until May 8th? In a briefing this morning, the White House said President Trump wants a permanent ceasefire. President Trump is set to meet with House Speaker Mike Johnson later today to discuss pushing forward budget legislation. Last week, Johnson said the House is pushing to get the spending bill approved by Memorial Day. Now, some of the issues that Republicans remain at odds over include potential cuts to Medicaid spending, tax cuts, and military spending. The legislation is currently in the hands of committees that will create drafts. Before the Budget Committee will take them all and create one large package for the Senate and House to vote on. So we'll be covering that for you as well from Washington. All right, if you're looking for something to do with your kids this summer, here's an idea. The State Agriculture Department has a new interactive map, and it shows you all the farms in our state that allows you to come and pick your own food.
So you know where you can go. And obviously these operations are located all over the state, and so you can do everything from as simple as driving, within an hour from your home and being able to get to one of these operations, depending on where you live.
And that is State Agriculture Commissioner Tyler Harper. The map is available at georgiagrown.com. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 2025 class of inductees is now out. Joining the class are Outkast, Cyndi Lauper, Soundgarden, and the White Stripes. Other inductees include Bad Company, Chubby Checker, and Joe Cocker. The inductee ceremony will be held at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles on November 8th. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is currently up actually 72 points right now at 40,185. So the Dow is up slightly. NASDAQ is in negative territory, and so is the S&P slightly. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather brought to you by American Crawl Space Solutions. We start in the 24-hour traffic center.
Problems in DeKalb County. Got a real bad crash involving a few tractor trailers. Hero trucks are on the scene. Fire trucks, ambulances. This is I-285 northbound. The outer loop right at I-20, exit 46, causing some major delays. Now they're back to 675. Instead of getting in that mess, you want to get off at Moreland Avenue, and you can take that back up to I-20, and that'll take you well into the east side. From the Cool Ray Carrier Traffic Center, I'm Chinwe Maponya-Cook, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy today with a high near 80. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds. An isolated pop-up shower can't be ruled out. High 82. Wednesday, partly cloudy. High 84.
It is 67 degrees in Marietta, Johns Creek. You have 65 degrees right now, and it's 68 in Powder Springs. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
In Atlanta, there is always something happening.
Tanker truck crashed into the median.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
No traffic getting through in either direction.
Helping you on your commute.
Avoid the area at all costs. Take Highway 155 or Highway 4223.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You know, we have a country. We have to be proud of our country. We can't let these people stay, and the courts are allowing them to stay. We're not going to. We're just
President
not
Trump in the
it.
courts talking about that big judicial arrest in Wisconsin. Eric Erickson will join us live to discuss in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
Gardeners are anticipating the warmer weather, and so are my friends at Ragsdale. Right now, get up to $1,700 off a brand new Carrier home comfort system and enjoy Ragsdale's own trusted 15-year parts and labor warranty. I say my friends at Ragsdale because they really are. My family's trusted them for years. For a new furnace, plumbing problems, or blown-in insulation, they're always on time and work with my busy schedule. Learn why they have a 4.9 Google rating. Start by visiting RagsdaleAir.com. Ragsdale, the name I know you can trust.
We were ready to sell, but I got so overwhelmed with everything that needed to be done. Accepting the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate shortened my to-do list.
Hi, this is Mark Spain. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home stress-free and receive the strongest cash offer in the industry. With our guaranteed offer, there are no showings, no open houses, and no stress.
And the value of getting all of my time back that I would have spent on home repairs, priceless.
Go to markspain.com to receive a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Certain restrictions apply.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Spring storms can dump a lot of rain in a short amount of time, flooding your crawl space and generating mold. Dry it out with American Crawl Space Solutions, your best value for crawl space repair.
American Crawl Space Solutions, foundations too.
10:37 on the Mark Arum Show. 1 hour from now, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Hans Zimmer at the Gas South Arena on September 11th. Speaking of Deborah, she enlightened us with that steak story last segment. The state of Texas trying to push legislation that would rechange the name of the New York strip steak to the Texas strip steak. I gave Vinny some in-show homework. Vinny, why is it called the New York strip anyway? Did you find out?
So basically, Delmonico's, Manhattan Institution,
I've been there.
Steakhouse, they made it popular, basically, and other steakhouses in New York.
Okay, so it's not beef from New York, but there are there are plenty of cows in upstate New York. All right, so that's why it was made famous in New York. That's why it's the New York strip steak. Texas is trying to pass legislation to make it the Texas strip steak. Speaking of steaks, I believe our next guest had a fantastic steak in Las Vegas this weekend. Eric Erickson joins us live on the show. Eric, you were at the Golden Steer, is that right?
Yes, I was.
How was it, and B, what did you get?
Oldest steakhouse in Las Vegas, and actually this time, believe it or not, Mark, I got the chicken parm.
Really?
It's a house specialty. I've had fillets there. I've had New York strips, my favorite cut. I've had the New York strip there, but this time it's their house specialty. It's one of the non-steak dishes they're known for. I love veal parm. I figured I'd try it. It was fantastic.
Chicken parm is that's the name of my handle on ESPN Fantasy is Chicken Parm. So, oh man, if you have pictures, text them to me. I'd love to see what the chicken parm looks like there.
Yeah, if I've got some, I'll send you. I don't know that I took pictures. I was in Elvis Presley's booth. That's where he used to sit.
Nice.
For those who don't know, oldest steakhouse in Vegas, and all the booths are named for the celebrities who used to sit there, and including, if you ever heard the story of Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio after they got divorced, they would go to a restaurant and sit at tables across from each other. That was the restaurant.
Wow. Golden Steer, since 1958, I believe, the Golden Steer Steakhouse. Anyway, all right, let's get down to brass tacks there. Eric, I played a cut coming in, President Trump talking about the judicial system. What went down in Wisconsin with the judge being arrested, and your take on this?
Okay, so it was an illegal thing that she did. ICE was there to deport an illegal alien who was in court on a crime, and she allowed the man to leave through the back door of the courtroom, through the jury room, to escape and elude from ICE. She aided and abetted the escape of an illegal alien. So, yes, she was arrested.
Interesting. And is this going to hold? Is she going to face charges? Is this going to change protocol in courtrooms around the United States?
She is going to face charges, and progressive judges are screaming foul on this. But I mean, honest to goodness, this was an illegal act that she did, and she can complain about it all she wants. It genuinely was illegal, and progressive judges may be emboldened to do this, but they're going to get arrested, and they should be prosecuted.
Eric, we saw an iconic photo over the weekend at the papal funeral with President Trump sitting face on with President Zelensky. I mean, not that there isn't already a portfolio of iconic photos of President Trump going back before that assassination photo in Pennsylvania, but they sat down, had a face-to-face. Are we seeing the tides turn in the Russia-Ukraine war on what side President Trump's falling on?
You know, I'm not 100% sure, but he certainly is expressing more frustration with Russia. It has always kind of struck me as this was a negotiating tactic to take the Russian line to try to earn some trust with the Russians, and it clearly hasn't worked. So he's starting to turn tactics and seems to have a lot of progress now with the Ukrainians and more favorable to them, which is a good thing, just given the way the Russian behavior is. Look, for example, Vladimir Putin has called a public ceasefire today, and yet they're still raining missiles down on Ukraine. So he's saying there's a ceasefire when there's really not.
And the president's top ambassador or negotiator, I guess, would be Steve Witkoff. He has been in Moscow, heading up negotiations. And I saw, I believe it was a picture from inside the negotiations where he was in the room by himself during the negotiations and just with a translator, and on the other side of the table was President Putin and some other big dignitaries. Is that a disadvantage for us negotiating wise, having him being the point man to get things done?
There are real concerns about Witkoff inside the conservative diplomatic community. Not progressives actually have tended to like him more than conservatives over time on a number of peace deals, and there are rumblings within the State Department. They think he's over his head, but he knows the president's line, and behind him, although often not pictured, is General Kellogg, who's a pretty hard liner against Russia. The Russians didn't want him in the room. He was going to be there with Witkoff, but the Russians blocked him from going.
Do you think that he can't? I mean, his background's in real estate, right? Witkoff is
yes.
Do you think that because he is an outside the box negotiator, that actually could be effective when discussing peace with a world power?
Yeah, I really don't, and I know there are a lot of people who are skeptical of the experts and the diplomats and stuff. But no, bringing in a real estate guy to negotiate a diplomatic affair is not the wisest thing. And if you talk to people involved in the president's national security team, they all believe Witkoff is in over his head.
Eric Erickson joining us live here in the Mark Arum Show. Speaking of negotiations, we heard from the Treasury Secretary Bessent yesterday talking about talks or not talks right now going on with China and maybe, trying to pump the brakes on these massive reciprocal tariffs. So what do we know this morning?
Yeah, so Bessent is probably the best spokesman for the president on these issues. There's a lot up in the air as to where they're going, how they're going to proceed. The bottom line, though, is that his view remains that we've got to get these negotiations done as quickly as possible and essentially reverting to the prior trade deals that Trump negotiated his first term with some modifications. The Chinese, though, aren't really budging. There have been some signs they're amenable to make changes. They are, for example, waiving export fees and duties on American auto parts. The president says he's going to get rid of tariffs on auto parts. So the Chinese look to be willing to negotiate, but they're not coming to the table.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, there's 10% flat tariffs, and it's going to impact the global economy, yada, yada. But it's the U.S. and China, right? These are the two world superpowers, massive trading partners. Eventually, some sort of agreement has to be reached.
Some agreement has to be reached. The question is who can hold out the longest, and the Chinese think they can hold out longer because they're a dictatorship, and we've got midterm elections coming. The problem, though, for the Chinese is that their entire economy is overleveraged and arguably has been in a depression, not a recession, and that might actually aggravate Chinese military action towards Taiwan. If the economy tanks on them, they're going to need to redirect nationalist impulses elsewhere.
Yeah, God help us. Speaking of elections, our neighbors to the north voting today. It seemed, 8 months ago that the Conservative Party was going to take over Canada, but then the talk of the 51st state came along, and apparently the Liberals are now surging in the polls. What can we expect, and what are we looking for in this Canadian election?
Yeah, Donald Trump getting elected is probably the worst thing to happen to the Conservatives in Canada because it has rallied nationalist sentiment in Canada towards the party in charge, which are the Liberals. I would expect them to probably do very well, given the way the polling is headed. The Conservatives were like a 25 to 30 point lead 8 months ago.
Yeah.
And it has collapsed to a tied race, and a tied race tends to favor the incumbent party in Canada.
Are they, I mean, it's 10% of our population. Are you going to have a quick vote count, or is this going to be a prolonged thing before we find out?
It's going to be a pretty quick process. We'll know by tomorrow.
That's nice. That must be nice.
Yes.
That must be nice to know who's going to win by tomorrow. What's coming up
on uniform measure?
What's coming up on the show today, brother?
So I'm going to start with the president's polling. It's not great for the president right now. It has more to do with people reacting to his tariffs. But here's the thing. If the election were held tomorrow, Donald Trump would still get elected. That's how unpopular the Democrats are. So for all of the problems he's got out there, those are not problems the Democrats have any ability to take advantage of right now without any sort of leadership or idea to counter Trump.
Eric Erickson must listen to noon to 3 right here on 95.5 WSB. Glad you had a great trip in Vegas, Eric. Good to have you back, buddy.
Thank you. Take care.
There you go, Eric Erickson. Chicken parm at a steak. I like that. I like that bold choice. Hey, I had a steak at a fish house on Saturday, so I didn't see that coming. I love chicken parmesan so much. Love chicken parmesan so much. If I won the 5K a day bonus blitz, I would take that $1,000 and just go on a chicken parm tour across
America.
Across America. All right. When we come back, we're going to talk to Bloomberg's Matthew Townsend as we are dealing with the tariff situation. Apparently, that we might run into some supply chain issues. Some manufacturers and retailers are already sounding warning signs that, hey, we don't have the inventory to get through the rest of the year, and we don't anticipate being able to stock our shelves with imports because of the tariffs. So we're going to go in depth on that. Deborah is going to tell us about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees, who got in, and maybe more importantly, who got snubbed. And of course, we're going to give you another keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz coming up after the new news here on 95.5 WSB. But now, Let's check the ride around town, seeing if there are any Monday morning blues. Live with the latest, Chinwe Maponia Cook.
That's right. We are seeing some blues over in the east side, and that's because you got flashing lights I-285 northbound right at I-23, left lanes being taken out due to a major crash. You want to get off before that mess if you're on I-285 at Moreland, and then you can hop on 20 to try and get into East Atlanta. This report is sponsored by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA Guide at BetterNestEgg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. From the Cool Ray Carrier Traffic Center, I'm Chinwe Maponia Cook, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That is awesome.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
This is Jill from Roswell, and I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 12.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews for My Roofer FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it in the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place, you know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelley Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
For many women in our community, support for our physical and mental health feels out of reach.
When your workday is long.
And your budget is tight.
And your village is busy.
And the road between home and help is a 6-lane highway with no crosswalk.
Northside Hospital believes women deserve better.
Northside is rolling up our sleeves and getting to work.
We got your house call.
Heard.
Learn more at northside.com/heard.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage doors should be around to play with the grandkids and talk about the old days when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
10:53 on the Mark Arum Show, monitoring the markets. Dow's up $1.55. NASDAQ's down 37. Minimal mixed results on Wall Street. We'll continue to follow what's going on with the stocks throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. Joining us live from Bloomberg News, it's Matthew Townsend. Matthew, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Sure, happy to be here.
The headline jumped out at me. Trump's China tariffs set to unleash supply shock on the U.S. economy, and this shock could come as early as May.
Yeah, so, the big point of the story is that these tariffs that the Trump administration has placed on China, they started in early April, then they obviously went up even more after that. Most Americans haven't really felt this yet, and what we're pointing out in the story is that they are going to start feeling it in a couple weeks. That's when a lot of companies, big and small, will be needing to restock inventories from China. And just as a reminder, China is one of the largest U.S. trading partners, something like $500 billion in imports a year. Basically, it's China and Mexico that we get most of our stuff from. So, yeah, there's a lot of ripple effects here that are going to start happening in a couple weeks.
Retailers warning of empty shelves and higher prices. What kind of products are we looking like that might be in short supply?
China it gives us so much stuff. They produce so much stuff for American companies. If you think about retail, toys, electronics, lots of things made with plastic, clothes, shoes. So, there is this worry that, stores aren't going to be bare overnight, but that you will see dwindling supplies. And now a lot of retailers are trying to figure out, where do we get stuff from? Or do we take the risk of bringing in goods, hoping that this will sort of ease a little bit by the time they have to pay the tariffs on them?
Now, it's still fresh in our memory, right? The COVID shortages, the supply chain shortages that we had during COVID. Are we expecting something similar to what we saw during COVID coming up starting in May?
Potentially, yes. There's various opinions about how quickly this will start, being very obvious. The one thing is that companies have been, stockpiling ahead of the tariffs. We saw a lot of very positive results in March across retail. If you look at the overall retail data, a lot of companies like electronic, Best Buy and Apple pointed to sort of people stocking up. Consumers in that case. So it might not be immediate, but basically the people we talked to for the story, suppliers, they got their goods from China, saying each week that this goes by, it just is going to get worse and worse and sort of build on itself. Because China is so important for so many companies.
Indeed. Matthew Townsend, Bloomberg News. Matthew, thanks for your time, buddy.
Sure.
All right. Relatedly, Deborah, Shein, right? That's that big China retail outfit that people fell in love with. Their prices are now skyrocketing.
Yeah, so you bought it from Shein because they're super cheap, like super cheap. You can get a dress for like $4
Yeah.
there, but they're feeling the tariffs as well. And some people were shopping over the weekend, and they reported a 377% increase on just some of the stuff. Now, not everything. Like health and beauty went up by 50, which is a lot. Some kitchen products are up by 30. Most clothing has gone up by 8, which is still a lot at the end of the day. So it's not as super cheap as it used to be.
Your $4 dress now $15 from Shein. All right. Thank you, Deborah. All right. Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic in under 3 minutes. When we come back, we're going to update our top local stories. And joining us live in studio, CEO of the Atlanta Track Hub, Rick Kenna, is going to join us previewing the annual Peachtree Road Race just a couple of months away. Social media is active throughout the broadcast. Give us a follow, will ya? At Mark Arum, MarkArum, and at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Hope. It's more than a word. It's a breakthrough in the making. At City of Hope, we're pushing the boundaries of science, targeting cancer at the molecular level, with teams of experts working together to personalize a treatment plan right down to your DNA with unprecedented speed, making every second count, with appointments in as little as 24 hours. City of Hope, advancing cancer care at life-saving speed. Learn more at cityofhope.org.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Founded by hardworking Georgians in 1992, Builders provides tailored insurance solutions to safeguard workers and business owners from costly accidents. Explore reliable workers' compensation and general liability products at BLDRS.com. Builders, insurance built strong.
Sell your home and get paid twice? Orchard makes it happen. Get cash up front to buy now, then more when your old place sells for top dollar. Go to Orchard.com or call 1-844-421-SELL.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 11 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cubitt. This news sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. Atlanta police investigating a shooting at Atlantic Station involving a rideshare operator.
Atlanta officers respond to the call on 18th Street in the Atlantic Station shopping district after reports of gunshots. The incident appears to be the result of an argument between a rideshare driver and a passenger regarding the fare for the ride. The 26-year-old male victim transported to Grady Hospital in stable condition. The driver, now identified as Robert Wallace, did remain on scene to talk to police. He's now in custody. Police say specific charges are pending. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Your weather for today, you can expect partly cloudy skies and warm. Highs around 80 this afternoon, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Happening right now in DeKalb County. Police on the scene of an incident at a townhome on Longman Way, not too far from the intersection of North Hairston Road and East Ponce de Leon Avenue. Neighbors say they heard gunshots and they reported seeing at least one person brought out in handcuffs, though police have not yet confirmed that. The medical examiner is on site along with crime scene investigators. We'll bring you more on this developing story as we get it. Governor Kemp today will sign a sweeping school safety bill into law during a ceremony at the Capitol. It comes 7 months after a gunman opened fire inside Appalachia High School, killing 4 people in Barrow County. State Representative Holt Persinger represents Barrow County and sponsored the bill.
This is a very comprehensive, proactive approach to student safety, and we're going to continue to work on this for as long as we need to.
Now, this measure would require panic buttons to be installed in every classroom, that records are shared within 5 days after a student changes school districts, and it also creates a statewide alert system for tracking threats. When the governor signs it, it would take effect immediately. President Trump will be signing 2 more executive orders today. Stacey Lynn has more on that.
The first one is aimed at strengthening immigration enforcement
to pursue criminals and protect innocent citizens.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
The second EO is centered around protecting American communities from criminal aliens.
She says it will direct the Attorney General and Homeland Security Secretary to publish a list of sanctuary cities the administration says obstruct the enforcement of federal immigration laws.
And new this morning, the work of selecting a new pope in secret is set to begin in just over a week from now. The Vatican announcing today that the closed-door process known as a conclave will begin on May 7th. Members of the College of Cardinals under the age of 80 are allowed to vote, and the winner will be selected by a 2/3 majority. Voting will continue until we see white smoke coming from the chapel, signifying that there is a new pope. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 145 at 40,258. NASDAQ is down slightly, and the S&P is in positive territory here at 11:03. That means it's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center on this Monday morning.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Right now, we are watching a big jam in DeKalb County, but some better news. That crash, 285 northbound, the outer loop, I-20 exit 46. It has cleared. Going to take some time for the brake lights back to I-675 to improve. Crash off to the right downtown, 7585 southbound at North Avenue. Before you get there, you're contending with construction blocking the left lane of the 400 southbound ramp to I-85 southbound, and now construction coming out of Lawrenceville on 316 westbound at Riverside Parkway, causing the brake lights as you head over to I-85. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly cloudy today, highs in the upper 70s to low 80s, lows tonight in the mid 60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with an isolated rain shower possible, high 82. Wednesday, partly cloudy with an isolated rain shower, morning low 63, afternoon high 84.
It is 67 degrees right now in Sandy Springs, 70 in Villa Rica. Monroe has 67 degrees. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
No, I run this town to be near you.
11:04 on this fast-moving news day, Monday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. 30 minutes from now, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Hans Zimmer at Gauss South Arena. And then right after the new news, I'll give you another keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. The news coming fast and furious. Russia announces a unilateral 3-day ceasefire in Ukraine. Let's go to Frederick Pleiken live in Moscow real quick.
Celebrations, which is, of course, the victory over Nazi Germany 80 years ago. And you can see that Moscow is already getting ready for that. If we pan over there, we can see a big sign that was put up. That's all across the city. And that says Pobjeda, which means victory from 1945 until 2025. This, of course, as you know, Wolf, by far the most...
So that unilateral 3-day ceasefire honoring the victory over the Nazis in World War II. So maybe some good news. And maybe building on a long-lasting ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. We'll monitor that story and bring you developments throughout the day. But joining us live in studio, very excited, the CEO of Atlanta Track Club, live in studio, Rich Kenna. Rich, good morning. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Good morning, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Oh, always a pleasure to have you. This must be the busy season for you, getting ready for the Peachtree Road Race.
It is. It's getting real for the 56th running of the AJC Peachtree Road Race.
56th annual Peachtree Road Race. Give us the details this year of this year's race. When, where, what, how, all the good stuff.
So since 1970, this is how Atlanta celebrates the 4th of July. So the morning of the 4th, we'll have the 56th running, and we want to retain that title of the world's largest 10K, and we're approaching the end of our lottery registration period, which is 2 days from now.
Yeah, you just can't just walk up the day of. You've got to get in. There's a process, and to get one of those, much coveted badges, is that what they call them? The
race bibs is what we call it in the industry.
Thank you. So tell us about the lottery and how folks can enter.
Sure. So if you go to ajc.com/Peachtree, that's the landing page, and that will jump you into the lottery flow. That ends midnight on Wednesday evening.
Okay.
And we're excited about the 56th running. We have a lot of traditions we follow, but a lot of new this year as well.
Oh, tell us about the new. What's new this year?
So we're bringing fireworks. We're bringing fireworks back to Lenox on the evening of the 3rd, so 9:15. We're going to start out the 4th of July in the Peachtree with a bang on the 3rd. We're also bringing the expo, the 2-day expo, up to Lenox, so that's July 2nd and July 3rd. Used to be down at the GWCC, so we're going to create this social, fun, restaurant, shopping, extravaganza over 2 days up at Lenox.
And take us through the history of this. So how many folks ran in the first one 56 years ago, and how many participants are you expecting in this one?
There were 110 brave souls who finished in 1970, and we're hoping for 55,000 this year. So it's grown exponentially.
Wow, that's incredible. The world's largest, 55,000. And these aren't just folks that, casually run in Dunwoody or in Duluth. These people, participants come from all over the world.
Last year we had 48 states represented in more than 30 countries, but it's largely a local phenomenon.
Oh, absolutely.
And for your listeners, just remind everybody, this isn't just about the fleet of foot. This is, yes, we have the world's best distance runners that come, but tens of thousands of people actually walk in the Peachtree. So this is about how Atlanta celebrates the 4th of July.
I have to ask you a question. So the lottery drawing is midnight Wednesday evening.
That is your last moment to enter the lottery, and then we will let you know within 5 days on whether you have been admitted into the race.
So if I win the lottery and get a bib, right, as you called it, and then train from now until July 4th, and I win the Peachtree Road Race, what kind of prize money are we talking here?
You're getting $12,000 for your effort.
Nice. All right.
Are you in?
No. I've been to so many Peachtree Road Races, but not as a participant, but as a reporter. That used to be my gig. I'd be in Piedmont Park. I'd have to get there at 3 a.m, and then my job was to interview all the winners, the wheelchair division winners, the male and female winners, and then the winners of the road race, male and female. So I am well versed on that. And one of the biggest things that the incentives of the Peachtree Road Race is folks, when they finish and cross the finish line in Piedmont Park, they all want to look at the legendary Peachtree Road Race T-shirt.
So that's the finisher shirt. That's
yes.
right. And it's a state secret.
All right. I'm not going to ask you anything, but I just talked to a reporter from Bloomberg talking about supply chain issues already. Are the 55,000 shirts already secured? Because I know, there's been some issues with production and tariffs and everything.
That's a great question. We're on an 18-month timeline on when we order them, so they are already in country and being printed.
Excellent. All right, so there's no concern. We're going to have the T-shirts ready for everyone that crosses the finish line.
We'll have them ready, but you won't know what they look like until you get to that finish line.
Excellent. CEO of the Atlanta Track Club joining us live here on the Mark Arum Show. For newbies, right? I mean, because we have so many folks that move into the metro Atlanta area, not familiar. They might have heard of it, regionally or nationally, but they aren't familiar with the route. Briefly tell us the route of the 56th annual Peachtree Road Race.
It's a great question because there's just a lot of new people coming into Atlanta, and we want them to adopt this phenomenon, this tradition. You start at Lenox in Buckhead. You come straight down Peachtree. There's one turn. Left on 10th.
That's the left on 10th. That's it.
And you get to the finish line and then just celebrate inside Piedmont Park for the morning.
Yeah. And what's the record-breaking time, and what is the average time it takes for someone to, whether they're walking or slightly jogging the race course?
So our world-class wheelchair athletes will finish the course in 18, 19 minutes. They are quite literally flying down the street. Our top male foot race, 27:04, top female called 30:30, which is just ludicrous in terms of how fast they're running. Vast majority of the participants are going to finish between an hour and 20 minutes.
All right. And I believe, Christina Edwards, right, our beloved meteorologist, I don't know how many of the 56 she's participated in, but she's a Peachtree Road Race regular. Is she going to be gearing up again this year?
Yeah, as far as I know, she's submitted to get it. I don't know if she's already secured it, but I know she's submitted. She does it every year. I think she wears a costume with her family.
Yes,
she's
indeed.
really into it. Yeah.
So can we do anything, Rich, to make sure that Christina gets the bib?
I'll take a look at the lottery list and make sure she's in there.
She's a great ambassador for the event. She really is. And if you're like me and you're not in shape and you're not going to participate as a runner this year, again, there's always next year, one of the best things is lining Peachtree and the support you give to the runners, the walkers, the costumes there. I mean, it truly is a community event.
It is how Atlanta celebrates the 4th of July, as I said. To that point, we also need volunteers. So if you're not ready to move from Lenox down to Piedmont but want to be a part as a volunteer, go to AtlantaTrackClub.org.
And just be warned, Peachtree's closed, folks. So you can't, on July 4th morning, don't be like, oh, I'm going to go down to the silver skillet and head down. It's closed. You can't do it. But
there's always that one poor soul that comes walking out of a hotel
exactly.
in Buckhead and says, "What's going on?"
And I'm going to make. I don't know if this is true. You can fact check me on this, but I think the consumption of pasta on July 3rd in Metro Atlanta will eclipse anything that ever goes on in Italy. So many carbs are consumed on July 3rd here in Atlanta.
If we ran this as a relay race, we would run around the world a time and a half in terms of the number of people that partake in all things Peachtree.
Yeah. Don't do the fettuccine Alfredo, though, the day before the race. That's
a little bit heavy, yeah.
Just get a spaghetti with meatballs. Rich, so great to see you. Give us the website again so folks can register.
So ajc.com/Peachtree.
Great to see you, my friend. Will you be partaking, or are you going to be holding the clipboard?
I'll be holding the clipboard.
All right. Excellent. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
And state secret. I'm not going to say anything about the he just showed me what the T-shirt looks like. It's not a picture of Longoria's face, as I've lobbied for years and years. Thanks so much, brother. All right, let's go back up to the White House. ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers joining us as we continue our negotiations with the Chinese and the Russians and everything. We heard, Karen, over the weekend from Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent talking about the negotiations ongoing with China. What can you tell us this morning?
He was trying to strike an optimistic tone about negotiations and timelines with China. He said that it would be maybe months to work out a deal with China. But, you and I talked about this last week. They're not talking to them right now. There are no negotiations. There's no significant exchanges with China. So that would be pretty remarkable to get something like that done so quickly. Bessent had told investors last week behind closed doors that it's going to be a slog to do a trade deal with China, but certainly trying to put a little bit more of a positive spin in an interview yesterday. He defended the president's negotiating strategy on trade. He did say, though, he didn't know if the president was talking directly to China's President Xi. I think that was a pretty remarkable statement. I mean, I think if he was talking directly to him, the Treasury Secretary would be involved in that, given how fraught these tensions in this trade standoff is at this point with China.
Now, we've been getting mixed messages from both sides. President Trump had said last week, as you mentioned, that there are ongoing negotiations. China says, no, there's not. If there is any discussion going on, I would imagine it's at really low levels between the two nations.
Yeah, if anything, that's what it would be. But it certainly seems notable that the Chinese won't even acknowledge that. And they've been pushing back very strongly and on the record with official government statements saying, that no, the administration is not saying the truth here and that there aren't negotiations. Last week, on Friday, it was the Chinese had said that the administration should stop confusing the American public. Now, also, Bessent talked about the president in an interview last week saying that there were 200 trade deals that had been agreed to. He had told that to Time magazine. First of all, there's only 195 countries in the world. And so Bessent was pushed on that. And he said he believed the president was referring to sub-deals within the negotiations we're doing. So certainly things are not as far along as the president had put out publicly last week.
Do we think, Karen, that there might be a pause on these massive reciprocal tariffs between the United States and China, at least to give some possible negotiating breathing room between the two nations?
The president has said no, that he is, well, I should say, he has said multiple things. He said, first, they would come down, but not to zero. He has said he will not roll them back without some significant concessions from China. And the White House has also said, we're not going to just do this unilaterally and just drop it on our side. It has to be part of a bigger deal and an agreement with China.
We'll see how the markets reacted this morning. Karen Travers from ABC News joining us on the Market Show. Busy weekend for you, the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Yes.
You're on the board. How did the dinner go?
It was a success. We heard lots of good feedback, we think. It was a different dinner this year. Of course, the president declined our invitation to come to the dinner. It's extended to presidents every single year. We did not have a comedian for entertainment this year, so that was different than years past. But it was very an earnest dinner that focused on the award winners. We give out several awards for journalism by our colleagues throughout the year. We awarded thousands and thousands of dollars in scholarships to college students, some of whom go on then to become White House reporters, which is pretty remarkable to see. I've been around here long enough now that I'm starting to see a lot of them come back into our press corps ranks, which is really amazing to see what this does to give them their foot in the door, connecting them with mentors, connecting them with people who give them jobs at some point. So it was a very great event, defending the First Amendment and promoting the work that's done here in D.C.
Sure, interesting time, obviously, for the White House press corps. Now, being on the board, do you determine the menu and what was served for dinner?
Not this year, but I got to go to the tasting dinner last year. So if people liked the 2024 serving, then I can take credit for that, but not this year's.
What was served this year?
It was steak. There was some fish,
Nice.
potato and vegetable thing, and then like a little nice plate of dessert. But it was funny because I'm at the head table and they put like all the desserts right in front of me, and I was like, I'm on camera the entire time. Like, this looks a little aggressive here with like 17 little cakes in front of me, but it was great.
I'm sure it was fantastic. Karen, as always, thanks for your time.
Have a great day. Thanks.
Great stuff, as always, from Karen Travers. Deborah, we know Karen. We have John Decker, Portnoy. We have Jamie Dupree. We have all these people inside the Beltway. You and I are definitely going to the Correspondents' Dinner next year.
I would love to go, although I probably wouldn't eat anything.
Well, that's why I'm taking you as my +1. So I'll get 2 meals. But I think it'd be great to get to hang out socially with all these folks that we have on the show. Yeah, I think it's a cool event. So anyway, good stuff there from Karen Travers from ABC News. Earlier in the show, in case you missed it, you'll hear on the podcast, we had papal expert Katie Prejean McGrady talking about the papal funeral and previewing the conclave. Delia Gallagher is in Rome this morning. Cardinals holding the conclave to elect a successor to the late Pope Francis. And it's going to begin next week on May the 7th.
One thing that this start date gives us is the idea that the Cardinals will have up until then, because they don't have to go into seclusion, as it were, until that day. They will have up until then to talk to each other in dinners, in informal meetings, and indeed in formal meetings, as they are already doing. And that's really important for them because they have to get together to get a 2/3 majority.
And it all kicks off May 7th. Will we have an American Pope? Will we have an Asian Pope? Will we have a Pope from Africa? So many questions. Very exciting. And now that I watch Conclave, I know what's going on behind the scenes in the process. The white smoke, the black smoke, it's fascinating. I love it. It's very historical. All right, let's check the ride around town. When we come back, by the way, Deborah's going to tell us who got snubbed in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But who's getting snubbed on the roads right now, Alex Williams?
Well, we got some better news for those that were getting snubbed on the south side perimeter. The crash is cleared. All lanes are now open. 285 northbound, the outer loop I-20 exit 46. Those delays have gotten much better, leaving I-675. Out of Buckhead into Midtown, you got the left lane construction set up on the 400 southbound ramp to I-85 southbound. And then some construction out of Lawrenceville. It's on 316 westbound. At least one lane blocked passing Riverside Parkway, slowing the ride over to Sugarloaf Parkway. Traffic brought to you by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When the news matters to you.
Massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The latest incident comes when a SWAT team is called after a suspect.
Your 24/7 news
They
source.
had no ties to a gang.
When you need the story, all you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
I love when I'm meeting a friend or even just see a listener and they notice a piece of jewelry I'm wearing and say, "Did you get that at D. Geller & Son?" Well, yeah, I did. One of my absolute favorite things to do is to shop D. Geller & Son jewelers for something for myself or for someone I love. The folks at D. Geller & Son are so friendly, and it's no wonder. It's a family-owned business since 1939. They love what they do, and they love helping you. See for yourself in Atlanta, Kennesaw, and Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com. And be sure to tell them Katie sent you.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equity. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Hey, get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and sell your home for maximum value, and that's without the stress of listing your home on the market. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Trying to sell your home can be overwhelming. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can skip the entire hassle, get an all-cash offer, and close within days. That means no showings, no open houses, and the best part, no stress. Just go to markspain.com and find out what your guaranteed offer will be, and then you can start packing.
Hi, this is Candace from Exovations, and have I got a tip for you. Don't just take my word for it. For over 20 years, you've heard me on the radio sharing remodeling advice. But if you really want to know what sets Exovations apart, go read our reviews. You'll see words like amazing work, incredible experience from start to finish, and again, stress-free. But don't just listen to me. Listen to our reviews. Google Exovations or visit EXOVATIONS.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
You do not want to miss this. For the next few days, you can get 3 rooms of carpet clean plus a free hallway from the cleaning pros at Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning for only $109 when you mention me, Chris Chandler. That's right, 3 rooms of carpet clean plus a free hallway for only $109. This offer is only available for a few more days, so schedule your appointment now before it's too late. Schedule online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero Res, it's the right way to clean.
What would you do if I sang out of tune?
Not only is that song the theme song to Wonder Years, that's sung by Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee Joe Cocker. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Official music correspondent to the show, Deborah, joins us live. Cocker's in. Who else got in? But more importantly, Deborah, who are the biggest snubs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
All right, so I predicted all but one. I was off but one, but people that got in this year were Bad Company, Chubby Checker, Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, Soundgarden, The White Stripes, and of course, Joe Cocker. Those are the ones that are officially in. They'll be at the award ceremony in November.
Who's the one that you predicted that didn't get in?
Well, the one that I didn't think would get in is the White Stripes. I thought they were still a little bit too new. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm happy. I like them, and they're forcing a reunion possibly, so I like that theory. But, yeah,
let me play a little White Stripes for folks that aren't familiar with their music.
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah. All right. So who got snubbed? Who didn't get it?
For me, Billy Idol. I thought Billy Idol was a lock. You had people advocating for him, like Ozzy Osbourne is like, oh, Billy Idol should be in, and he was second place in the fan vote, I believe, but still didn't get in. Fish won the fan vote. They did not get in. I'm not the biggest Fish fan, but they did win the fan vote. Yeah. And the one that affects us most is going to be the Black Crowes. They're a true rock and roll band. They're blues rock. They're from Atlanta. Of course, we were pulling for them, and they didn't get in either. So those were the three that kind of surprised me. Personally, I'm angry that New Order did not get in, and of course, they snubbed Oasis again. So I'm upset about that.
Well, all right. Some of those snubs are severe. Black Crowes definitely should have got in. All right, thank you, Deborah. Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, the end of yesterday's 60 Minutes raised some eyebrows. I'll explain next on The Mark Arum Show.
Don't miss your chance to take advantage of the Buy 4, Get 4 free sale and pay nothing until 2027. Sale ends soon, only from Window Nation. Schedule your free estimate now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want to audition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
At Shane Company, we've been engagement ring experts for almost 100 years. We have the largest selection of diamonds and gemstones in stock. You don't have to wait to compare them side by side. Find the one that speaks to you at shaneco.com or in store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. Happening now, we are following a developing story in DeKalb County. Police investigating an incident in the Inverness Woods subdivision. That's not too far from the intersection of North Hairston Road and East Ponce de Leon Avenue. Neighbors said that they heard multiple gunshots at a townhome community on Longman Way. We understand at least one person was brought out in handcuffs, though police have not yet confirmed that to us. There are reports from Channel 2 that 2 people are dead. Again, we are following this developing story. The medical examiner is on site, along with crime scene investigators. Check back for updates. We'll bring you new information as we get it. Your weather for today, partly cloudy and mild. We're headed for an afternoon high of 80, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. We have an update on the rideshare driver who shot a man at Atlantic Station. We have now learned the name of the driver. Police identifying him as Robert Wallace. He's now in custody. Police say specific charges, though, are pending. The shooting appears to be the result of an argument between the rideshare driver and a passenger regarding the fare for a ride. The 26-year-old male victim has been transported to Grady Hospital and is in stable condition this hour. Residents of Douglas County encouraged to register for a new emergency notification system that will activate this week. It's called Alert Douglas, and its enhanced notification system provides providing real-time alerts and critical updates on potential dangers. That does include severe weather and public safety issues. You can register by downloading the Smart 911 app. You can opt for phone, text, or email notifications. Now to Washington, President Trump set to meet with House Speaker Mike Johnson today to talk about budget legislation. Last week, Johnson said that the House is pushing to get the spending bill approved by Memorial Day. Some of the issues that Republicans still are at odds over include potential cuts to Medicaid spending, tax cuts, and military spending. The legislation is currently in the hands of committees that will create drafts before the Budget Committee will take them all and create one larger package for the Senate and House to vote on. We'll be watching that. And looking at buying a home, well, you may have more to choose from come this spring. Wayne Cabot has details.
Mortgage rates are more than double what they were in 2021, and yet realtors say more sellers are listing, giving buyers more options. The National Association of Realtors says the number of homes for sale increased almost 20% last month from a year ago. And here's a change. 44% of home purchases now involve some concession from the seller, according to Redfin.
And Redfin says home sellers here in Metro Atlanta are increasingly willing to make concessions to a buyer to get the deal done. Things like taking care of closing costs, home repairs, and interest rate buydowns. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 33 at 40,080. NASDAQ is currently down more than a full percent, and the S&P is down more than 0.5%. It's 11:33. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center with a look at your Monday morning roads.
Still watching some brake lights as you leave Buckhead heading toward Midtown with that left lane construction on the Georgia 400 southbound ramp to I-85 southbound. Once you get past that, tapping the brakes from 17th Street down to North Avenue where a crash is cleared from the right shoulder. Northbound sluggish, University Avenue up past Freedom Parkway. And our other work zone is out in Lawrenceville, 316 westbound, getting past Riverside Parkway, one lane block there. Seeing a few brake lights as you make that commute over to I-85. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy today with a high near 80. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds. An isolated pop-up shower can't be ruled out. High 82. Wednesday, partly cloudy. High 84.
WSB Storm Tracker radar is rain-free. It's partly cloudy and 71 in Woodstock. Kennesaw has 71 degrees. And here in Midtown Atlanta, we have 70 degrees right now. We'll have more news at noon. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That is awesome.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
This is Jill from Roswell, and I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 12.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
On 95.5 WSB.
Coming up next, Deborah's got some amazing tickets to give away and a head-turning end to last night's episode of 60 Minutes. I'll play the audio for you. That's coming up next on The Mark Arum Show.
April showers bring May flowers, but they may also lead to water inside your home. Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing. The roof guys. Rain means trouble for your roof. And when it does, think of Findlay first. The perfect match for any roofing issue. And with Findlay, manners matter. They'll treat your home like it's their own with 5-star exceptional service. Plus, Findlay offers upfront pricing, 0% financing, and a free roof analysis. FindlayRoofing.com. Roof.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Mix and match 5 or more items for just 99 cents each with your card. Choose Campbell's Soup, Kroger brand pasta, North Sides, and more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries and most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer from virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Spring storms can dump a lot of rain in a short amount of time, flooding your crawl space and generating mold. Dry it out with American Crawl Space Solutions, your best value for crawl space repair.
American Crawl Space Solutions, foundations too.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo.
11:37 on a pretty gorgeous Monday here in Atlanta. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. Right after the new news, giving you another keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz, your chance to win $1,000. But you don't have to wait till 12:06 to win. You can win right now, Deborah Green.
Yeah, we have tickets for you to go see Hans Zimmer at Gas South Arena on September 11th.
Let's do the 11th caller then to 404-872-0750. 11th caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see Hans Zimmer, Gas South Arena, September 11th. Courtesy of the Mark Aram Show and WSB. Some heads turned yesterday at the close of 60 Minutes. Let me play the audio from the end of that award-winning news magazine.
In tonight's Last Minute, a note on Bill Owens, who until this past week was executive producer of 60 Minutes. He was our boss. Bill was with CBS News nearly 40 years, 26 years at 60 Minutes. He covered the world, covered combat, the White House. His was a quest to open minds, not close them. If you've ever worked hard for a boss because you admired him, then you understand what we've enjoyed here. Bill resigned Tuesday. It was hard on him and hard on us, but he did it for us and you. Stories we've pursued for 57 years are often controversial. Lately, the Israel-Gaza war and the Trump administration. Bill made sure they were accurate and fair. He was tough that way. But our parent company, Paramount, is trying to complete a merger. The Trump administration must approve it. Paramount began to supervise our content in new ways. None of our stories has been blocked, but Bill felt he lost the independence that honest journalism requires. No one here is happy about it, but in resigning, Bill proved one thing. He was the right person to lead 60 Minutes all along.
A lot of raised eyebrows after that aired last night. Joining us live covering the story from Syracuse University, Professor Bob Thompson. Bob, thanks for your time as always. Were you caught off guard by the close of 60 Minutes?
Well, I kind of expected that they were going to address this. And, of course, the story's been out there in all of the entertainment pages and the business pages and every place else. But the entire episode went on, and then they waited till the last minute, and then they dropped it. And I think it was a pretty sober, sane, and clear recitation of the story that, of course, had been out there for a while already.
Have we heard from a reaction from the big bosses there?
I don't think so. At least I haven't heard yet. We have heard from people at 60 Minutes. And, of course, Owens, when he announced that he was going to resign to his people, urged them to stay the course, urged them to stay with the show. So he's leaving, and I think he thought that the writing was on the wall already for him. But he's urged everyone else to kind of stick with it. And this puts Paramount in some interesting place, because 60 Minutes is still a major hit. Even that show, that show's been on for 57 years. It still brings in more people than most any other show on broadcast television. And it, of course, is the flagship, the brand identity of CBS News. So while Sherry Redstone, Paramount's and CBS's parent company, are trying to sell this whole operation. Some of the value of CBS comes from a place like 60 Minutes, and that value comes from this reputation that it's got of having journalistic independence, old school style.
Professor, why is this such a big news story in regards to the Fourth Estate and its future?
Well, I think it brings all kinds of things into play, and we can see them. Number one is the problems people have had with enormous consolidation, these huge, big media outfits that have got so many different companies and so many different interests, and whether or not journalism was going to be compromised when these media organizations were taken into these big conglomerates. And here's a perfect example where the desire for the desire for the overall conglomerate wanting to sell this thing and getting approval from the Trump administration is put in direct conflict with the journalistic integrity of an operation within that thing. That's one of them. Secondly, I think it brings into relief the whole direct conflict, the war on journalism, as some people are calling it, that we've been seeing, the enemy of the people, and all these other metaphors that are happening. And finally, it's a big deal because it is, after all, 60 Minutes. This is, the oldest of old school journalism on CBS, which goes back to Cronkite and Murrow. This is one of the most august brands left on American television.
Professor, moving forward, what's a bigger issue to follow? The conglomerates, as you mentioned, or the explosion in the number of media outlets, sometimes alternative media outlets?
Well, I think that those are both really important. I mean, there's so many things assaulting the old business model of how journalism happened in this country, and not just television journalism. Newspapers, which have been going out of business, falling like nine pins over the past decade and even longer. And you point out also the proliferation of different media outlets, not so much places that have bureaus all over the country and that are doing collection of news, but that are aggregating it and all of that, where the advertising dollars are going to come from, how all of that's going to work. Journalism, in some ways, still hasn't recovered from the fact that they can make no money from classified advertising anymore. Wanted, a tractor, stuff like that.
Yeah.
All of those methods of that for so long paid for journalism have disappeared and transformed in significant sorts of ways.
Professor Bob Thompson, Syracuse University, joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. You mentioned the war on journalism. In Syracuse at SI Newhouse, the famous journalism school, I was there for a summer program, fantastic experience. Are we seeing less students enroll in journalism classes, major in journalism? Is that becoming a second thought when it comes to college kids and what they want to do in the future?
Yes, I think it is. We are seeing more of that. I mean, I'm thinking back. Remember when All the President's Men, the movie, came out? All of a sudden, everybody wanted to be a journalist and to go out and fight the good fight and all of that. And of course, we have those moments when journalism is part of the big story itself. But I am noticing less of a sense of this being a viable career. We have more people majoring in public relations, for example, than we do in traditional journalism. And I think it's a combination of now people's parents telling their kids your chances of succeeding as a journalist are as big as your chances of succeeding as being a movie star or a quarterback or something like that. That's part of it. And secondly, I think the kind of universal disdain that has been shoveled upon journalism for some time now is probably having an impact on a young 17-year-old, 18-year-old deciding what they want to do for a living. It's disturbing to me. I mean, journalism is a special kind of calling. It is a profession that is required for the whole system of a republic to work. And when the profession itself is in a state, both economically and metaphorically and spiritually, it seems like that it's in right now, is to me a dangerous situation.
Indeed. Professor, really appreciate you jumping on this story. Dinosaur barbecue lunch on us. Just send the bill to Ken Charles.
Oh, that sounds good. Come on up sometime and we'll have it together.
Would love to. Professor Bob Thompson, SI Newhouse School of Journalism, Syracuse University. Fantastic outfit. And Dinosaur Barbecue is fantastic. All right. How many of you remember this famous line from this movie?
Ready, are you? What knows ready? For 800 years have I trained Jedi. My own counsel where I keep my history trained.
Yeah, the butchering of the English language there is Yoda, of course, from Star Wars fame. We finally have word on why Yoda spoke the way he did in those movies, Deborah.
Yeah, if you ever wonder why it seemed a little bit backwards or off or something, people kind of asked George Lucas, and he finally gave a pretty simple answer. He said that if Yoda spoke like a normal person in normal English, people wouldn't pay attention. They wouldn't look at him as like this important character, and he wanted a way for fans to know that Yoda was different, and so flipping words around made you were forced to pay attention and really listen to what he was saying.
Remarkable producer you are. Yeah, that makes well. I think that's he also mentioned that he toyed around with using an accent. I think just as an American, when you hear like a British accent or an Australian accent or a French, you go and you like for some reason just pay more attention to it or add credibility to it. Interesting there, Yoda. The legend, Yoda. All right, hey, congrats to Tom and Marietta. He won a pair of tickets to see Hans Zimmer at the Gal South Arena on September 11th, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show and 95.5 WSB. And coming up after the noon news, I'm going to give you a chance to win $1,000 again in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. I will provide that keyword right after the news at noon. Coming up next, I want you to think about this. What do you think is the most popular brand of beer in the state of Georgia? The answer might surprise you. Hopefully no surprises out on the roads right now. Live with the latest, here's Alex Williams.
Seeing a few brake lights pick up on the south side perimeter once again. 285 westbound, the inner loop approaching Boulder Crest Road, exit 51. Just found the trouble spot. It looks like a right lane block there on that inner loop heading over to Boulder Crest through DeKalb, slowing you back toward Flat Shoals. Left lane construction continues between Buckhead and Midtown on the 400 southbound ramp to I-85 southbound. And you got the construction coming out of Lawrenceville blocking a lane, 316 westbound, getting past Riverside Parkway. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Chris Chandler. Tuesday on Atlanta's Morning News, our Bonus Blitz contest continues, and Clark's social media tips to avoid getting in trouble at work on WSB.
I know we just started spring, but already Maya and I have turned on the AC in our house a couple of times. Hey, it's Mark Arum back from my pals at Reliable Heating and Air. We are going to use our AC a lot this summer. I'm sure you will as well. Great new deal from my friends at Reliable. Check this out, folks. Get any size air conditioning, any size AC, just $69.99 a month. Zero down payment, low monthly payments, unbeatable lifetime warranty, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Yes, any size AC, just $69.99 a month, zero down, low monthly payments. Don't go into another sweltering summer with your old AC unit. Get a new one from my friends at Reliable. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the Schedule Service button, or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
This is Rocco with another reason why you should always bring your European vehicle to Rocco's European Garage. No tax charged on any service at any one of our 6 locations through the month of April. That's zero tax on your bill. You'll receive the usual top-notch customer service, including upfront pricing, customer approval prior to beginning work, complimentary shuttle service, and a 3-day appointment window to get you back on the road quicker. And remember, guys, no tax this month on any service or repair at Rocco's European Garage.
Scott Slade here from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you're going to be able to get it into the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. Zero down payment, zero interest for 12 months, and zero monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling.
I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If it's the big story, it's on 2. Channel 2 Action News this morning. I'm Fred Blankenship.
And I'm Lori Wilson. Big stories are always breaking. It may start in the morning, but the impact continues all day.
We're constantly working to bring you fresh information from different perspectives.
This is Developing Live. Our reporters are working to get you all the angles right now.
When it comes to the big story, this is always the place to get ready for your day.
Join us on Channel 2 Action News this morning every day, 4:30 to 7.
At Ameris Bank, we know it's never just business when it's your business. So we're here to be your partner. Whether you're launching a startup, expanding locations, or managing daily finances at your company, you can do it all with a committed financial partner on your side. Our expert business bankers are ready to empower you on your financial journey. We're Ameris Bank, and we're fiercely yours. Find your local business banker at amerisbank.com/businessbankers. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Skeeters biting you? Better call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda is proud to sponsor Scott Slade, Georgia, every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Coming up to 11:54. Final segment of the Mark Arum Show. Eric Erickson next. Keyword to the 5K Day bonus splits coming up after the new news. All right, I teased this. I was stunned. Deborah came up with this list. What do you think is the most popular beer in the state of Georgia? We'll start with the Stoic one.
Sweetwater.
Sweetwater. Great guess. Vinny Drip. What do you think is the most popular brand of beer in the state of Georgia?
Budweiser.
Budweiser. You're both wrong. You're both. I would have said Miller Lite. Okay. I would have been wrong too, Deborah. What is the most, I don't believe this, by the way, but what is the most popular beer in the state of Georgia?
Yeah, I was a little surprised when I saw this too. And where's Kobe and his 30 Rocks when you need him? But the most popular beer in Georgia, according to this latest survey here, is Guinness.
I don't buy it.
I don't know.
I don't buy it.
Really?
I would have thought Yuengling over Guinness.
How many counties are in Georgia? 157. Let's just say, for the sake of it, someone is going to yell at me. Let's say
he said 59.
159. All right, I was close. I would wager that 140 of the 159 counties in Georgia, you can't buy it. You can't find a Guinness, right? There's no. That can't be. I think it's fake news. I mean, I love Guinness, but a hot summer in Valdosta, you're not cracking open a Guinness. No, it's too heavy. Anyway, I think that's fake news. I do believe the Connecticut most popular beer is Corona. Longoria's home state of Texas. Any guess what your...
Bud Light, I'm sure.
Nope.
Really?
Coors. The Silver Bullet.
Really?
Deborah, I'm assuming Wisconsin's Miller, right? It's got to be Miller.
Gosh, it'd be Miller or Pabst, but yeah, it's Miller.
Yeah. This doesn't surprise me. Heineken in New York. That was big there. Indiana and Illinois are big fans of Busch. Ohio, it's Bud Light. North Carolina, it's Bud Light. A lot of Coors, mostly Miller, though, across the heartland. Colorado, Blue Moon. Blue Moon is the most popular beer.
I think that's where it comes from, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
but yeah, I don't buy that. I mean, nothing against Guinness, but I'm calling fake news on this survey. I do love a black and tan, though.
Longoria's fact of the day.
That is not my fact of the day.
No, I just got a text from the Piccadilly that made me chuckle. Go ahead, Longoria.
All right,
Sorry.
today is National Blueberry Pie Day.
Ooh.
And blueberry pies were brought to the United States by settlers from Northern Europe and Scandinavia. The first documented recipe for blueberry pie, an Appledore cookbook in 1872, and blueberry pies made with wild Maine blueberries
So
is the
good.
official state dessert of Maine.
You didn't come to my wedding, but we had.
I did not.
You blew me off. You and Deborah.
We were
We weren't
invited.
invited.
But we had fresh blueberry hand pies that were made. They're
What?
like blueberry
You
empanadas.
didn't bring
Deborah.
any back? Like,
No,
I'm sure
they
you
were
had
all
it.
gone. They were delicious. Yeah. Ooh. And if you ever have my dad over for dinner, Longoria, serve him blueberry pie with chocolate ice cream. That's his favorite dessert
Okay, well,
of all time.
I'll send them some from my blueberry bushes.
Maybe I'll go to IHOP get blueberry pancakes. Remind me to tell you my IHOP story tomorrow. Hilarious IHOP story. Good fact of the day, Longoria. Is that enough for the returning Stoic one to get started the show?
Are you guys ready for the Mark Aram star of the show?
Yeah. Good to have you back, Longo. Missed you. But glad you had a good time, though. Longoria takes vacations.
Yeah.
All the time.
We're at the beach.
I don't take vacations anyway. Vinny Drip coming strong again. Fantastic job. Vinny Drip, star of the show. Deborah, of course, you should always get a star of the show. I'll make sure you get one today. John Decker does not get one, blew us off. But Katie Prejean McGrady, papal expert, joined us live at the very latest on the conclave upcoming on May 7th. She gets a star of the show. Doug Widener joined us live. He is the CEO of the Piedmont Park Conservancy. I am not getting a star of the show because I cannot pronounce that word. Eric Erickson joined us live. Eleanor Watson from the Pentagon joined us live. Matthew Townsend from Bloomberg. Rich Kenna, the CEO of the Atlanta Track Club, joined us live in studio. Professor Bob Thompson. And I think that's it. Karen Travers. Yeah, good stuff. All right, I'm on social media, at Mark Arum, MarkArum. You're going to hear my voice again in just a couple minutes after the news. I'll give you the latest keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Enjoy that blueberry pie, Atlanta. Stay safe. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Verizon introduced a 3-year price lock that if you sign into certain plans, you don't have to worry about the price going up for 3 years. But that doesn't do a lot about how much higher the bills are. There are a lot of choices now that will lower your cell phone bill a lot from where it is. And I've got a tool for you at Clark.com, Phone Plan Finder, that you can use it to lower the price of your cell phone plan by 50% or more.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 12 o'clock on this Monday, April 28th. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. The news here at noon is sponsored by Jim Ellis Automotive. Our top local story is from DeKalb County. A SWAT situation at a townhome community on Longman Way today. 2 people, we understand, are dead. Neighbors say they heard about a half dozen gunshots. They saw people being rescued from a second-floor window. They also saw someone being taken away in handcuffs. So far, police have not yet confirmed that to us, but we have gotten confirmation that 2 people are dead. We are still working to gather more information on this developing story. As we get it, we'll bring it to you, so check back for updates. Your weather for today, it's going to be beautiful, partly cloudy, mild, afternoon highs around 80, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast coming up at 12:05. A rideshare driver is in police custody this noon, accused of shooting a passenger in Midtown.
The incident occurring on 18th Street near the Dillard's department store at Atlantic Station in Midtown. Investigators believe there may have been an argument involving the fare for a ride. It ended with the passenger being shot by the driver. The 26-year-old male victim taken to Grady Hospital in stable condition. The driver has been identified as Robert Wallace. He has been detained and police say charges are pending. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
There's a new way to get emergency alerts in Douglas County.
Residents are urged to register for Alert Douglas, which officially launches May 2nd. It replaces Code Red. Alert Douglas is an enhanced notification system providing real-time alerts and critical updates on potential dangers, including severe weather and public safety issues. You'll be able to get notifications by phone, text, or email. Douglas County EMA Director James Queen says the new system is more user-friendly. He's encouraging citizens to sign up immediately to remain connected, informed, and prepared in case of an emergency. Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
It is 12:02. Governor Kemp will sign a sweeping school safety bill into law during a ceremony at the Capitol next hour. It comes 7 months after a gunman opened fire inside Appalachia High School in Barrow County, killing 4 people. State Representative Holt Persinger represents Barrow County and sponsored the bill.
This is a very comprehensive, proactive approach to student safety, and we're going to continue to work on this for as long as we need to.
And now the measure requires panic buttons to be installed in every classroom, that records are shared within 5 days after a student changes districts, and creates a statewide alert system for tracking threats. When the governor signs it, it takes effect immediately. Now, the governor will also sign legislation into law that bars transgender athletes from girls' sports.
It's known as the Riley Gaines Act and mandates that all student athletes in Georgia from kindergarten all the way to college play on the sports team that matches their biological sex. Forsyth County Republican State Senator Greg Dolezal sponsored the legislation.
This bill recognizes that when you allow males to participate in female sport, it ceases to become female sport.
The measure also requires separate locker rooms or changing facilities for male and female athletes. It takes effect July 1st. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
This is new here at noon. Former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms takes the next step in a possible run for governor. She's filed her paperwork today to begin raising money and plans to officially announce her campaign in the next few weeks. She would join State Senator Jason Estevez, who is the only Democrat to formally enter the race so far. Attorney General Chris Carr is the first Republican in the race, but Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones is expected to make an announcement soon. Governor Kemp is in his final term. Some possible movement in the war in Ukraine following the private meeting between President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky at Pope Francis' funeral over the weekend. Russia's Vladimir Putin now announcing a short-term ceasefire in the beginning of May. That follows last week's airstrikes in Ukraine.
President Trump was very angry about that. He talked about it with reporters as well. And now we see Putin coming out and declaring at least a 3-day ceasefire, meant perhaps to send a message that he is serious about negotiations. Correspondent Nancy Cordes says Ukraine has been reluctant about peace deals that include it being barred from NATO or having to give up land to Russia. The Vatican has announced the conclave to elect Pope Francis' successor will be next Wednesday on May 7th. And this is new here at noon. A veteran who lost her brand new service dog when he ran into traffic is surprised with a new poodle today in Lilburn.
Blindness, cancer, PTSD. Army veteran Carrie Porter's poodle Bruno was helping her through this and more until his sudden death.
When veterans lose a service dog, it puts them in a really dangerous place, even worse than before they came to me.
Blake Rashad runs the Top Dog Canine Foundation, which helped find Porter a new service dog, Bruno's brother, Hayden.
It can fetch her medicine bag. It can bring her purse. It can bring her walking stick. It can go find her walking stick and bring it to her. These type of things can change her life.
Rashad says Hayden couldn't come at a better time. Porter just learned she's pregnant. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
All right. Thank you, Veronica. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 107 at 40,006. NASDAQ is currently down more than a full percent, and the S&P is down more than 0.5% here on your lunch hour. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams has a look at your lunchtime roads.
A few brake lights on the southeast leg of the perimeter, 285 westbound, the inner loop leaving Flat Shoals over toward Boulder Crest Road, exit 51, where a crash is mostly on the right shoulder at times, poking out in that right lane there. Elsewhere, you're slow heading out of Buckhead into Midtown with that left lane construction on the 400 southbound ramp to I-85 southbound, but no need for an alternate. And over on the west side, I-20 eastbound, the right lane slow with that merging madness, 20 eastbound leaving Riverside Parkway over to I-285, the west side perimeter, exit number 51. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Now your 5-day forecast, sponsored by Shoemate, the official air conditioning of Atlanta. Here's WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards.
A mix of sun and clouds today. Highs in the upper 70s to low 80s. Sunset tonight around 8:20. Temperatures will be in the upper 70s at that time. Cooling down to the mid-60s for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, partly cloudy with a slim chance of a pop-up rain shower, high 82. Wednesday, partly cloudy with a slim chance of rain, morning low 63, afternoon high 84. Thursday, a little better chance for pop-up showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Otherwise, partly cloudy, high 85. Friday, partly cloudy with pop-up storms, high 82.
We'll have more news at 12:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Okay, friends, it's the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. The noon keyword is Monday, Monday, Monday. Enter the keyword Monday into the WSB Radio app or at WSBRadio.com/cash. You have until 12:30 p.m. to enter the keyword. Win $1,000. Keyword is Monday. Good luck.
My fellow Americans, welcome. It's Eric Erickson here across the United States of America. The full number is 877-973-7425 should you wish to be on the program. I hope you had a fantastic day or weekend. I hope your day today is going well. If you want to be on the show, one more time, 877-973